Boom, boom, boom. Should I order crumble cookies? Yes or no? You have 3 seconds. No. Should go to bed. Christmas merch, baby. Christmas merch. It's out. I would also like to say Spreadshirt is like some of the most convoluted bullshit ever. I thought I had already uploaded the designs, but then it was like I uploaded them for myself, but I didn't upload them specifically for my channel's merch or my things. I don't know, it was just so stupid. And then like you have to go through and like choose the ones you want to pop up on the, so, but the pre ones that has picked out look dumb as far as like, but anyways, long story short, if you want to buy anything from there, you can for Christmas. And you can just like mix and match whatever fucking random product they got. They have like teddy bears now, which is kind of crazy. Too expensive? Is it too expensive? Let's see. How much is it? Oh, 40, yeah. I guess a hoodie is like $40. That is pretty expensive. There is no Perdite plushie, I'm sorry. I was actually kind of surprised they wouldn't have. Joel, should I try black tar heroin? Yes or no? You have 3 seconds. Get me some, please. Just kidding. Man, can you please go back to telling the real life stories in third person perspective with theme stories? Isn't that what I've been doing? What is different about my channel? Joel, do I pull all my money on the Patriots or the Bills? When's that game? Let's ask ChatGPT. What's the spread on the Patriots-Bills game? Because this is how they fuck you. I'm realizing this whole entire season in the NFL has been so fucking rigged. Spread, Bills, negative 1.5, Patriots plus 1.5. Bills are favored by 1.5 points. Huh. Over under around 49 point. Based on those odds and the fact that the house always wins, who would you bet on? Now, this isn't me giving you any advice, by the way, on betting. A spread that small means books see the Bills as slightly better. They're trying to balance money on both sides. It's basically saying Bills win by a field goal. Vegas usually isn't guessing here. A negative 1.5 line is book speak for Bills are the better team, but not by a ton. House always wins angle. If you're thinking books shade the line towards the side casual bettors will take. Casuals typically like favorites, better roster, better QB, teams with more recent success. That should mean a value in the underdog Patriots plus 5, but when the line is very small, under 3, the house is usually signaling that the favorite is generally better, not trying to trap anyone. These lines historically hit at around 52 to 54% for the favorite, depending on matchup. My actual pick, if it had to be with the Bills, would be the Bills. Why? They only need to win by 2. Books tend to nail those coin flip spreads. The difference is QB play plus roster depth usually matters late in the season. Patriots covering a small dogs typically, yeah. I don't know, AI says Bills, but honestly, don't bet, man. Don't give the 5 families your money, bro. They don't need it. If everyone just like collectively stopped betting on shit that's like clearly just like WWE rigged. Did you have to shovel heavy snow today? Not today, no, we didn't. It was rainy today, actually, so I guess it was close. Joel, another question. What's my favorite football team? I cannot tell you. And I'm starting to think that it doesn't even matter, honestly. The more that these sports betting issues are going on, the more that I just don't like sports anymore. You know, I definitely don't. I don't know. Like, they're going to have, like, various fall guys, right? You know? What's my favorite color? It is green. All various shades of green. Drake May. Any plans for Kwanzaa? Yeah, I'm gonna get fucking hammered. As per usual. I haven't watched sports in a while. I mean, I enjoy football, but knowing that it's just like, I don't know, there's so many things, like, there's probably more money in the sports betting arena than the games themselves, as far as broadcasting and ticket sales and merchandise. So I don't know, it frustrates me that that's what it's become. What I mean is, can you just do the crime stories with whatever theme you do instead of having them on separate channel? They always flowed better. I mean, the crime stories on Saturn Soul have already been read on Let's Read already, so it's basically me just taking that content and repurposing it into like videos to try to like reach a different audience, you know. So you've probably already heard all the crime stuff already. Love your bits, by the way. Listen to them during hunting. Nice, dude. Yeah, stay safe out there. Stay warm. Stay frosty. Made a little playlist, all your Christmas stuff, and I've been listening, ready for the new stuff. Thank you. Go back to the old stuff. All this new stuff is a cash grab. Any advice for a small narrator channel? Not this one. Any advice? I don't know. I mean, it's weird. It's weird to generally like make. Well, you know what? The only thing I can really see is so like Mr. Nightmare's channel's huge, right? But then if you look at the history of not scary interesting, even though they're doing good. What was it called? I can't even remember their fucking name. It's like the most generic shit ever. Scary. Oh, what the fuck is it? Scary spooky shit. You guys know what I'm talking about? No, not me. What the fuck is their channel? I can't even remember. It's got like a little pumpkin on the front. Pumpkin. Hey, Charlie Kirk support with the $10. So what's your favorite foods? How are you doing? I don't care for football, hockey, and baseball all the way. Oh, hockey and baseball all the way. I'm really excited that I finally got to see your video live. It's been a long time, man. Thanks, friend. What's my favorite food? I like lasagna. But I mean, and like burritos. Just anything that makes me feel like total shit afterwards. With some diet soda. Chilling scares. There you go. Thank you, Sam. What's poppin'? Holy shit. It was like double playing the song. Sorry about that. Okay, but yeah, so basically Scary Interesting's technique early on. It is my real voice, yeah. What's up? Spooky wookie. Yeah, so like Scary Interesting's technique early on, when you look back through their channel, was the fact that they made their videos the same content, same length, same thumbnail style, same editing style as Mr. Nightmare, right? So that tells YouTube's algorithm to immediately suggest your stuff upon suggesting Mr. Nightmares or whatever. And it's not that you're trying to confuse the audience, it's that you're almost like trying to, in a weird way, like convince the YouTube's algorithm, especially if you have a fresh new channel, which like you got a completely clean slate, like on an equation board, instead of like a big fucking messy chalkboard with like a bunch of chalk written everywhere with like eraser marks and all sorts of stuff like that. It's just completely fresh, and you can just like essentially align it and parallel somebody else's success. And so if you're trying to do narration, I would say, like, depending on what it is, I would try to make your thumbnails, your titles, the length of your videos almost like identical in a weird way to someone that you want to be as successful as, right? And think big. You can think big on it, you know? Because, like, obviously scary video compilations are going to do better than probably narrations. But anyways, then Scary Interesting then leveraged that success over to, like, you know, the scary video compilations, which, like, propelled him even further. I don't know who he is, never spoke to him, but that's just, like, when I'm analyzing it from the outside perspective, that's probably was his approach. I'll be back. Hey, maybe one day, once I'm up there, I'll ask you to collab one day. Thanks. Yeah, no worries, bro. Best of luck. You'll be surprised, man. Like randomly your channel just might pop off. Just know that, like, when you do it, just get a plan going. Know exactly what you want your channel to be. Do I voodoo you? What do you mean? Like, do I do magic on you? Hey, Simone Archibald, thank you for the gifter too. El Trippy Hippie. Welcome, El Trippy Hippie. Thank you. Does Joel own a 3 Wolf Moon shirt? I did, bro. I literally did. Those were sick as fuck back in the day. Vintage as hell. I have quite a few of those, honestly. One's like a Siberian tiger on like emerald. And then another's like just a big ass one with a fucking orangutan on it. I feel like, I don't know, I just thought it was really funny. I don't wear them anymore because I don't really want anybody looking at me. But I used to wear the dumbest shit in college. Wearing the dumbest shit in college might like feel like the pro gamer move to do because you're having a good time, which there is always like room for a good time. But if you want to get 0 chicks, wear a fucking 3 Wolf Moon shirt. Unless you're just having a good time, then whatever. David Monroe, thank you for the 3 Canadian. Yeah, I used to love graphic tees. Now I just can't even be fucked with them. I hate them. I don't even like when other people wear them, unless they're funny. Hey, thank you, Mallory. And Drake on the side. Welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Sorry it took me so long to get to the stream going. Have I seen FNAF 2? I haven't. Is it out in theaters yet? That being said, you guys gotta wear my graphic tees and the merch pinned above. Should we start reading? We got Christmas stories tonight, friends. Did you do a podcast with Mr. Ballin? Yeah, we briefly did Twist of History for like 20 episodes, but things didn't sadly work out, so no worries. We cringe onward. My kid has been complaining about FNAF not following the lore. She is so mad. Tell her welcome to fucking video game movies. She will, if you go back through all of time, anytime they've ever made a video game movie, I swear to God that the producers in Hollywood and all like the different filters it goes through, it's like not a single one of those people have ever played the game. Or yeah, none of them have played the game. And it's almost like they're actively trying to like make it terrible. Do you have a favorite MLB, NBA, NHL team? No, I mean I'm glad, I mean I'm cool. I'm happy sports exist. I just and I like those sports. I definitely like NHL probably more than NBA, MLB, but I just never really sat down and made a choice. And Rick Campbell, thank you so much for the big 20 buccarinos, bro. Thank you, Rick, as always. I bet you would be great at reading some true, strange police or detective stories you may have done in the past, but I can't find them. Really? Yeah, if you I don't know if you know this, Rick, but if you go into the YouTube channel itself, like if you kind of go all the way to the right at the top, there's a little magnifying glass, and you can search within the channel. And I've done a bunch of, oh, actually, Rick, my apologies. There is a playlist as well for law enforcement stories, and I got a ton of police and detective, like true detective style stuff in there that I think you might really like. Feel free to check it out. And thank you again for the 20, my friend. And Mallory Thompson, welcome to the Buttersock Cult as well. Guys, thanks for being here. Click share, click like. We got Christmas stories. The last Deep Web video did really well, so thank you guys for watching that. That was fun to see. I wasn't sure if people were still into Deep Web. And the last one I think I posted got demonetized because it mentioned something naughty, I guess. I don't fucking know. Kim Kardashian in Fortnite? Let's go, bro. Let's freaking go. What do I want for Christmas? A normal sleep schedule would be kind of cool. I'm a degenerate as far as my sleep goes, but there's actually a very strong part of myself that like loves waking up at like 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. and just going, you know what I mean? And then passing out hard at like 8 or 9 p.m. and just doing it again. Like, I like that. That feels so good. It's like you got the whole motherfucking day to figure your shit out. And unfortunately, I, you know, just worked night shifts for so many dang years that it just, I keep, you know, you just fall back into it, or you start hanging out with the wrong crowd, the kind that likes to stay up till 1 billion o'clock. Last chance for the cabin in Michigan, leaving tomorrow at noon. All right, I'll meet you there. Don't you worry. We're going to find Bigfoot. We could work out and sleep schedule together, but you playing. Y'all playing. New video went live yesterday, by the way. Let's see. What do we got here? Guys, if you haven't subscribed to That Crime Girl, she's in the chat. She needs our support. What's the new video? Eckankar, the Midwestern cult you've never heard of. Should we listen to it? Should we give it a quick little listen to? A sampling of sorts? Let's just do a quick listen. We'll give it 1 minute.
Discover how past lives, dreams, and soul
Oh, this is cool. This is actually a cool start.
The crowd and master your spiritual destiny. If you would like to discover spiritual truth through past lives,
oh, you knew these people. That's kind of crazy.
Call 1-800-LOVE-GOD and receive your free copy of Eckankar, Ancient Wisdom for Today.
Feels like Fallout, yeah.
What you're listening to is thousands of people singing Hugh, an ancient name for God, which you can sing as a love song or prayer song to God, which allows for greater spiritual guidance, protection, healing, and direct spiritual experiences with the light and sound of God.
So this is all just like preemptive intro. I do like it.
It's caused quite a controversy.
Why the controversy?
New Age is cringe. Well, it's like
Are you talking about a particular cult?
it's a cult, so probably gonna be a little cringe.
It was founded in San Diego. It's well known.
Oh my god, this looks like Tom Cruise. Dun 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 dun. Motherfucking crime girl. That's the start. That
I
crime.
used to work in a convention center
Oh.
where Eckankar held its big annual conferences. Every year, hundreds of people from all over the world would roll in wearing these
Send you a
royal
wedding
blue
Christmas
badges,
cookies, also
walking
known as
around
snowball.
super
Let's
serene,
go, baby. I
almost
need 1,000
otherworldly
cookies.
calm, like they knew something the rest of us weren't in on. At first, I honestly thought it was just another spiritual retreat, meditation, good vibes, maybe some crystals and sage. But then I started noticing something. The way they talked about their leader and how
Yeah, this is good, Crime Girl, honestly. Like the way it's paced and stuff, the sound design, the narration's really solid. I hope it, you know, you really never know when one of the videos just like blows up to a good bajillion views. Strauss Outdoors, thank you for the 5 gifters, my friend. What's up, bro? To Jessica Hughes, Polar Bear, Sloss Moss, Video Tactics, Derek Stamey. Welcome, friends. You now have access to bonus content. Yeah, I like your voice too. Honestly, it's a good voice. It's like welcoming, you know, but snerious. Joel Noel Christmas. You may know me as Dr. Christmas. You're not joining this person's weird ghost reincarnation cult. Alright, that's your choice, buddy. That's your choice. But you're missing out. "2008 was a hell of a year. It started all right at first, but then not only did Chelsea lose their first ever Champions League final, but September's financial crisis made a lot of people worry about their futures, myself included. You might remember the time. Yet all that paled in comparison with something much more personal, when a close personal friend of mine named Jane, not a real name, confessed her husband... Alright, I did not follow the language on that one. Danny Nerd, welcome back for 7 months. Says, here's to the bestest bedtime content creator there is, there was, and there ever will be. That's what I'm freaking talking about, Danny. Thank you, bro. Love you. Appreciate you. God bless you to infinity. Virtual blessing. Vroom, vroom. Vroom, vroom, vroom. And Calvin Strickland, welcome to the Buttersock Call. Thank you, friend. Yet all that paled in comparison with something much more personal, when a close personal friend of mine named Jane, not her real name, confessed her husband of 3 years had been abusing her. Now, we'd suspected something for a while because after that first year's honeymoon period with her new husband Nick, Jane started to act very differently. She lost all of her cheerfulness, and she was constantly busy but wouldn't explain why. And sometimes it felt like someone was just sucking the life out of her, just like a vampire or something. Well, as it turns out, someone was, metaphorically of course, and it was Nick. Now, we'd never hit her hard enough to bruise, but he did hit her. He'd also intimidated her, choked her, and once locked her in their attic for an entire day after an argument about his drinking. Nick told Jane that she deserved it, and that it was for her own good, and that if she ever told anyone what he did to her, he'd kill her. No ifs or buts, he'd just do it. Because he'd rather spend the rest of his life in prison than have her going around bad-mouthing him. Now, I was shocked, incredibly so, and I think my first major question was, what the hell happened to Nick for him to change so drastically? Now, when I first met him, he was an absolute gentleman, with nothing in the way of warning signs. But Jane said the change came after Nick's dad passed away, and that she strongly suspected his dad of doing all the same things to his mom when he was a kid. Nick went through a period of depression, and then when he came out of it, Jane said that he was just never the same. Now, that was late spring when she first told me, and it took months upon months of talking to lawyers and the police while hoping and praying. But by September, Jane managed to obtain a video recording of Nick's abuse, and upon showing it to the police, he was immediately arrested. His trial was set for the end of November, and thanks to the footage that Jane had provided, Nick had little choice but to plead guilty and hope for a very lenient sentence. Now, Jane was terrified that he'd only get a suspended one because she knew a restraining order wouldn't be enough to keep him away. But when it came to sentencing, in case anyone asking if this is a Christmas story, this is actually Saint Nick, so this story is actually about Santa Claus being mean. What's up, Iris? What's up, everybody? You love Krampus, don't we all? What was your high school experience? Mine was like a prison. Did you ever get shoved into a locker? You got shoved in a locker? Jeez, that's crazy. You know, mine was not. I played football. I always kind of perceived, like, I got bullied, you know what I mean, from like upperclassmen just being jerks, but it was always like amidst men, it was almost like people were constantly like shit testing each other to see how far they could push people sometimes. And in some ways, it was actually pretty cringe. I felt like people would shame others when they would see someone being treated poorly, you know, in almost like a movie way. But yeah, hearing about a girl getting shoved into a locker just seems really abstract to me, because I don't know, I know between girls there's like bullying, like just bitchiness and general antisocial behavior of spreading rumors and things of that nature, jealousy, whatever. But the idea of like a girl getting bullied is, you'd think someone would step in. Hey, there's Jade. What's up, Jade? Where you been? Where the hell have you been? Some people like, oh, sorry. Bullying the musical. That actually would be kind of a good musical, I feel like. You got a boyfriend now? Nice, dude. How's that going? MTV Unplugged. What's that? Oh, with Alice in Chains. But when it came to sentencing, we got the best news possible, because the aggravated nature of the I feel like I'm fucking smushed. God damn it, trying to keep your windows from exploding is so fucking annoying. I'm a biological girl and always will be. I was bullied and shoved into lockers too. I was locked into one. My bully put his padlock on. It took 30 minutes for the janitor to get off. Was it a dude? Oh wait, sorry, it's a different person. I read that wrong there. That's crazy. I don't know. Some people, I guess, I don't know. I guess I was fortunate where most people in my school just, who knows, maybe I just didn't see the meanness as overtly. Like, obviously, many kids in my school, I can't, you can't keep track of all of it. Is that Papa Joel? Papa Joel's Pizza? I thought you meant windows, like what you look out of. It's the same guy from church you mentioned way back. That's good. That's awesome. I hopefully got a nice, healthy, spiritually centered relationship and things go good. That's awesome. Can't believe people actually shut people down. I know, it's just like, you think it's kind of like played out. I mean, at least give me a fucking wedgie. Pull it up over top of my head and nose to the point that my asshole's bleeding or something. Something creative. But when it came to sentencing, we got the best news possible because the aggravated nature of the abuse meant that even though he had no criminal history, Nick got 5 years in prison. Now, Jane seemed happy for a few days, but it didn't last. She might have gotten Nick out of her hair, but that didn't dispel all the pain and regret that she felt from having, and these were her words, quote, wasted years of her life. Jesus Christ, how's my voice already cracking? You worked out instead of getting crumble cookies. Honestly, you'll be happier for it. There's probably a million other things that you could consume that would like simulate a crumble cookie that would satisfy, you know what I mean? High school bully has simply just evolved into online bullying, not as much physical bullying these days. Did anybody see that in Sydney, Australia, I think they had passed something where anybody under the age of 16 cannot have a social media? Is that true? Which I found to be kind of fascinating, but at the same time I wonder if it's just sort of like a eventual push to like, so if someone is online or whatever, it's basically just forcing you to show your ID, and it's just like still invading like the privacy of people, all of Australia. Law is supposed to take effect later this year, sometime soon. Let's just look it up. It's kind of interesting. Law banning anyone under from having social media in Australia? Question mark. I mean, if girls advertise in Insta comments now, so I kind of get. Yeah, it's scary. The legislation is called the Online Safety Amendment, Social Media Minimum Age Act of 2024. An amendment to the Online Safety Act of 2021 is passed by the Australian Parliament, received assent. Under this law, major social media platforms must take reasonable steps to prevent users under the age of 16 from keeping or creating accounts. Which seems so strange. Key points: the law doesn't criminalize under 16s for being on social media, but it puts the legal obligation on the platforms to block or remove underage accounts. Platforms that don't comply can face civil penalties, fines of up to around 49.5 million, about 33 million USD. This applies to many major services such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, X, Twitter, Reddit, Twitch, Kick, Threads, and other designated by the government. How it works in practice: companies see, this is what I'm saying, this all just seems to be happening all at the same time. Companies use age verification tools like declared birth dates, analysis of behavior, bank-linked verification, and other methods to determine age and block under 16s. Children under 16 may still be able to visit these platforms and view public content, but they cannot hold or operate a social media account on age-restricted platforms. It really just seems like a way to like capture more of people's like data, you know what I mean? Eventually just like forcing people to have like digital IDs on the internet and stuff like that. Like, it's just another one of those like fronts, another one of the save the puppies and kitties and children acts or whatever that make it seem like it's a good thing on paper, which there probably will be obviously quite a bit of benefits there, but at the same time, it's not really stopping them from using it. It's just like collecting more of their information easier, you know? The law targets platforms' enforcement by companies, not criminal penalties against kids themselves. Parents are prosecuted simply for their kids using an account. So there's no consequences, right? It's literally just enabling these social media companies in conjunction with the government to legally be able to collect more data on you. Like, get the fuck out of here. There's literally no penalties for the citizens except for like further infringement upon your information. Great. Messaging apps without significant social features may not fall under the social media age restriction, though, like Snapchat are included. Government aim to protect youth, mental health, safety, all that. Yeah, I don't know. But really, it comes down to the fucking parents. Like, if you're a parent and you have like kids under the age of 18, 16, whatever, like, just fucking don't let them have any sort of public account or anything like that, man. I don't know. I guess that's easier said than done, right? And I'm just kind of like browbeating, but what's up, Pat? Another British essentially with digital ID laws taking effect sooner or later. Yeah. Do you need permission to use Reddit stories? Yeah, I definitely need permission. Make sure you just like DM them or something, but sometimes it can get your account into trouble because the people that I have that ask permission sometimes say their account gets like randomly shadow banned or some shit like that. Girls hated me outside of high school. They would assume and accuse me of stealing their boyfriends. I was not interested, never wanted anything to do with them. I was shy. You would put their boyfriends into a burlap sack and take them with you. I'm just the shy girl who uses chloroform. My sister was 8 seats or 9. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry to hear that, Chrissy. Jeez. Joe, you want people to take responsibility for their spawn? Unfounded, I know. It's bullshit. There are some people really good protein bars actually taste like you're eating cookie dough. Yeah, you kind of just want to look at those ingredients, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. A lot of it's just a bunch of processed dog shit. You'd be better off just like eating a thing of chicken. Just like boiled chicken. You thought this was supposed to be scary? Basically what I'm doing is recording stories for tomorrow, so like the actual videos. This is basically what the video will become. You know, I'm talking about we're recording, we're chatting, we're just being dumb, etc., etc. I remember in high school, me and this girl had biology together, and we both liked talking to this one boy, but I didn't know she was on the cheerleading team, and he was on the football team. And so I brought a grenade to school. Just kidding. We're just being a couple of silly geese. Geese-eye. I made my own ice cream with frozen banana protein powder and some dark chocolate and PB powder. That sounds nice. But when it came to sentencing, we got the best news possible because the aggravated nature of the abuse meant that even though he had no criminal history, Nick got 5 years in prison. Jane seemed happy for a few days, but it didn't last. She might have gotten Nick out of her hair, but that didn't dispel all the pain and regret that she felt from having, and these were her words, wasted years of her life. Now we could all see it. Jane needed some serious cheering up, so on the very last day of November, when I sent a group text out to a mutual friend group suggesting that we throw a Christmas party for her, everyone agreed. Now we set the date for Saturday the 13th, and from the first of the month, I was planning and decorating almost non-stop. I bought a ton of finger foods, stocked up on about a dozen bottles of wine and spirits, and put together an awesome playlist for it too. And then after decking out my house with all types of wreaths, garlands, and bunting, we were ready to party. Now, there was just one rule. Don't mention anything about Jane's ex-husband. We wanted the party to be a place that she could decompress, and if possible, forget about her troubles for just a few short hours. Now, I've always found it ironic that Christmas is often a time when people's fears and anxieties bubble to the surface, especially problems within their families. So if we managed to put even the smallest smile on her face, it'd be worth the effort. And so on the night of the party, I reminded guests of the no Nick talk rule as they arrived. Arogd. How many stories? We got 4 stories tonight. Don't come to Jedi Temple tomorrow. Vroom, vroom. Tell all the younglings to stay home. Well, if you're gonna boil some chicken, you might as well make some chicken and dumplings. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. I was rewatching Fallout Season 1. Surprisingly amazing show. Yeah, is Season 2 out now? Only 4. Well, it's not necessarily the number that matters, it's the word count. And the word count we try to keep tentatively, like, close or to around an approximate maximum. Joey, what do you think of Ella Purnell? If it's a hot celebrity, let me just guess. She's probably going to be hot, right? Purnell. Oh, I typed Joey Purnell. That's not who we want. I typed Joey. Ella Purnell. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, the girl from Fallout, yeah. Giant saucer-like eyeballs. So, on the night of the party, I reminded guests of the no Nick talk rule as they arrived. Now I was terrified the wine might loosen their tongues, but they were as good as gold. Jane arrived to nothing but cheerful greetings and festive well-wishing. No talk of Nick, the divorce, or the fact that he was currently serving the first month of his 5-year sentence. Things started calmly at first, with a bit of buble and burgundy, but as more and more of our friends arrived and people started cracking open the spiced rum, we switched from Bing Crosby to Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, and things kicked off big time. We were singing and dancing, properly raising the roof, the kind of party that's only acceptable at Christmas time when the neighbors are too warm and cozy and probably drunk to complain. Now luckily, our neighbors had gone out for the evening, so we weren't bothering anyone, and more importantly, Jane was having the time of her life. Now it was the first time that I'd seen her laugh that Does your team edit stories to fit word count, fix grammar, fix tone? It's mainly just like grammar stuff. I mean, but that's kind of like why sometimes it's like you can kind of sort of see like stories being longer in the beginning that you can find, and then trying to find certain pieces of content to fit within the constraints. But sometimes you'll see anything from a range of like, because I really want a video to be at least 45 minutes, right? That's like the typical listen. But sometimes, videos can get up to like 10,000 words, which my reading pace can usually take about like an hour 10. Have you ever broke out in acne and your blemishes made a constellation? I don't know if I've ever broke out in acne. I've been fortunate with that kind of stuff. Like, I have pimples and stuff, which is very annoying, but what's up, Saxia? How we doing? Drinking some spiced rum does sound pretty fun, though. Mariah makes $3 million a year in royalties from that one song. Dude, that is like the coolest shit ever. I love that. That's what I'm saying, guys. You guys need to make just one song. One thing. Just make one thing and you can just live off of it forever. Yeah, Mariah Carey. Jim Carrey's wife. Had a bad run with acne in high school. I got them strong-ass subscription chemicals do me right. Yeah, does that fuck you up at all? Like hurt your heart or anything of that nature? Hello from South Africa. Hello, Hannah. What's going on? I've uploaded some original songs. Anyone want to listen? Tempted. Very tempted. What kind of music we talking here? Two rounds of Accutane back in the aughts. My acne got so bad that I used to put cover-up makeup to hide the acne scars. Yeah, how does one progress away from the acne scars after? Is there any way to like rid the body of the scars themselves once they're formed? I was on oral steroids for a little health thing a while ago, and the back acne was unreal. I remember hearing like getting quite a bit of sunlight on the back can help clear up the acne. Is that true or not so much? Or does that just make it worse with the UV rays and the scarring? Have you ever gotten gaming stories? We actually have, yeah, probably a couple months back if you search within the channel. Laser skin resurfacing. Yeah, is that just kind of like, it does damage to it and then it just sort of like collagen heals or whatever? You get acne as an adult, damn, that's tough. It was the first time that I'd seen her laugh like that in what felt like years. Not just putting on a mask so she wouldn't upset the wanker of an ex-husband. I mean, truly having a laugh. And not one, fucking shite, mate. And no one said a thing about Nick. Not until she did, because at one point she asked for everyone's attention and then declared a toast. Now I thought that she might make it to new beginnings or to good friends, but instead, Jane declared that we were drinking to that bastard behind bars. And so drink we did. Things kicked up a gear when I put on Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive, and it honestly was making me emotional just thinking about it because I don't know if you've ever seen someone sing that song and really feel it, but good God, that was heavy. And the mood picked up when I put on some Rihanna, and then by the time Low by Flo Rida was pumping on the speakers, the spirits were at their highest. I remember having a cup of mulled wine someone made on the stove, and then myself, Jane, and a mutual friend of ours named Steph decided to put a full face of makeup on her boyfriend. We found it hilarious at the time. Like, so funny I actually peed myself a little bit. I wish I was joking, but I can't laugh about it now. Not after what came next. Now I get... Wait, what did they do? They put makeup on the boyfriend? I remember having a cup of how much fucking like alcohol do they mix together? Joel do Muppet voices? Kermit the Frog. Kermit's a Muppet, right? Or is Kermit a Sesame Streeter? To get from the bed... Wait, I remember having a couple of mold lines. Put a full face of makeup on her boyfriend. Like on a picture? I'm a bit of a Muppet. Oh, remember the old men were the funniest ones. Hey, that smells like shit. No, that doesn't sound like the old guy. What do they sound like? That smells like... I don't know how to do an old guy. That smells like shit. Can I imitate Elmo? I'm Elmo. I'm Elmo. Elmo. I sound more like Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar. Come up the frog. I had some bad adult acne going on. It's because my hormones are messed up. Yeah. It's freaking tough, man. How do you even regulate those? I wonder if it all just comes down to like diet or what. Sing as a Muppet. Jar Jar Binks. Look out for Sababa. I saw someone do it. I keep seeing this one guy pop up on Instagram. It's like memes of him doing impressions of Jordan Peterson, and he's just like he's up on stage, he's talking about something, and he was talking about how incredibly brave Anakin was to go head to head with Sebulba. He goes face to face with Sebulba on Tatooine. Teletubbies. I don't even know. Don't Teletubbies just kind of like giggle? Mine was because my ovaries are messed up, so I have to take replacement ones, and it's helped me so much for that's good. Yeah, damn. Bart Simpson voice. Eat my shorts, man. Eat my fucking shorts, dude. You fucker. No, I think it's like an old woman that does, I forget her name. She did like a master class. She didn't pass away, did she? I forget but she did Bart Simpson for so fucking long. Am I a Star Wars nerd? I was for a little bit. I was, honestly, for quite some time, I enjoyed Star Wars. Not to the extent that some people enjoyed Star Wars, but after the previous trilogy, I just kind of like lost its luster, and I just don't really care about Star Wars anymore. It almost seemed like they were like purposely going out of the way to like fuck it up. Morty. 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 Favorite voice to do? I don't know, they all kind of suck. Probably this stupid fucking voice. You might be familiar, because you can say stuff. You can say, he was a terror, that's Sebulba. Sebulba. He was from Tatooine. A really nice place, actually. It was hot as hell out there. Anakin was not afraid. He was probably the bravest 9-year-old little boy dating some Padme when she was already like 23. It was kind of fucking weird. Who's the channel you recommended with occult stories? Occult stories? Did I do that? I don't even remember. Oh, the Ekankar. Yes, sorry, that was that crime girl. My apologies. I lost context there. I can link it again. That's her channel there. She's in the chat if you want to subscribe to her. Can we talk about bad tattoos? I have a Starfleet emblem on my left side. My friend had a PBR tattoo on his ass. That's awesome. Starfleet's Star Trek, right? Merry Christmas, Jeepers. Good to see you. Yeah, honestly, it makes me wonder if the Star Wars Christmas special from back in the day is actually better than the modern shit. Better than that fucking show. Was it Andor? Not Andor. What's the one that sucked total wieners? My heavily tatted. Yeah, I used to be in the Yakuza, so every kill I got, I just kind of like put another little sketch. A lot of anime drawings, pretty much. A lot of stuff from Studio Ghibli. They let me do my own tats. We found it hilarious at the time. Like, so funny I actually peed myself a little bit, and I'm honestly wishing I was joking. But I can't laugh about it now. Not after what came next. Now, to get from my bedroom to the bathroom, Jane only had to walk a few feet across the hallway, but she also had to walk past a large window which overlooked our driveway and the street beyond. Now, I thought that she was taking a while in the toilet, but then again, she was so drunk and had so much that a tactical chunder wasn't out of the question, so I didn't think to check on her until maybe a few minutes after I should have. But wouldn't have mattered anyway, because by then, it was too late. Seconds later, Jane came bursting through the bedroom door, looking pale and frightened, saying that she needed to leave. I barely got a word out before Jane started shouting, "He's outside! He's right there in the street, he's outside!" I remember Steph asking, "Who's outside?" Because although now it all seems so obvious, at the time we genuinely had no idea who she was talking about. And then when Jane started saying how Nick was outside, it was like the saddest moment of thinking, oh God, the poor dear's a nervous wreck and she's having some kind of breakdown. Now, I remember Steph trying to hug her while saying, "Nick can't be outside, babe. He's in prison." But Jane practically shoved her away, saying, "I'll show you. He's right there in the street." She then dragged Steph out into the hallway by the hand, and then as I followed, she pointed out the window towards the street lamp just beyond our driveway. Now, I remember saying, "Jane, darling, there's no one there." To which she responded, "He was just there, just now. I swear to God he was." No one downstairs could hear what was going on thanks to the music, but Steph and her boyfriend joined us in the hallway to help me calm Jane down. Now, it sounds absolutely mental looking back on it, but I think we really did believe that she was suffering some kind of PTSD-related paranoid delusion. She'd had a lot to drink, and a few other things too, so of course she'd started overthinking, and going to the toilet on her own would have given her all the time that she needed to start spiraling into negative thoughts. Now, as Jane started to have a full-on panic, Star Fox. This is my best friend, Star Fox. I got the Rugrats on my chest. What gang initiation would you require you guys to perform to join? Probably just clicking that button and paying $5 would be sufficient. And then you are in the gang. Joel's driving that car that goes underneath the fence, but everyone thinks it's a ghost car and can't figure it out. Do a barrel roll. No, yeah. Actually, a friend of mine's girlfriend did a, like for Halloween, she did the no regrets guy from that movie. I forget what it was, Meet the Andersons or something. No Rugrats. As Jane started to have a full-on panic attack, Steph started telling her that she was going to look around outside to make sure that there was no one there. Now, I thought that might calm her down a bit, and evidently so did Steph, because all it did was cause Jane further agitation. Now, she kept saying, No, don't go out there, don't let him get me. And by this time, people coming up the stairs to use the bathroom were noticing what was going on. Another friend of ours took over from Steph in trying to calm Jane down as Steph went downstairs to look outside. She later said that as she was walking to the front door, she started wondering why she was even bothering. Even if there had been someone standing out there in the street, it was literally impossible that it was Nick because that guy was locked up. But Steph opened the door all the same, and when she did, she said it was like seeing a ghost. Because standing in front of her, Joel does an Ed Gein dance every Wednesday night. What's an Ed Gein dance? I got that Ed Gein swag. Swag is for boys. Fedoras is class, and class is for men. Because standing in front of her, clear as day, was the one person it couldn't have been. It was Nick. Steph said that she tried to slam the door closed again, but Nick threw a foot in the door, and she started screaming for help, but there was maybe 15 women in the house and only 2 men. So even when 2 people did run to help Steph, Nick was able to just simply barge the door open and shove his way inside. I remember hearing the screams, and then all of a sudden there was this booming, "Where is she? I know she's here, now tell me where she is." Jane started screaming. No words this time, just these sort of fractured screams of terror as her worst nightmares suddenly came to life. Now, I was having a difficult time myself because I knew Nick's voice, so I knew that it was him down there. But that was impossible. He was supposed to be in prison for an absolute minimum of 5 years. Now, I thought he must have escaped, in which case he'd done so with a great deal of determination. And if his sole motivation was to hurt Jane, then we were in serious, serious trouble. Our house wasn't exactly massive, so to get from the front door to the stairs, Nick only had to barge his way through the cluster of small human shields before he had an unimpeded path. But just as he was making his way up the stairs, Steph's northern boyfriend, Ryan, appeared with a cricket bat that he'd grabbed from my boyfriend's office and started swinging it as hard as he could while shitting his pants.
Where is she? Where is she, Joker?
All that wine. Sweet berry wine. Last time I was here, I was 12 weeks pregnant. Happy to announce I have a 12-week-old baby girl. Hey, congratulations, Taylor. That's crazy. How's it going? Are you getting sleeps? Enough spoiling. Good night, everyone. Can't wait for the video. That's a good point, too. There's probably like multiple reasons people probably don't join the stream. Just out of speculation is the spoiling of the stories and the fact that it's not like a continual reading process. But yeah, congrats on the baby. That's crazy. I can't take UK-based stories seriously. It doesn't matter what channel it's on. Is it just because there's no bazookas to shoot at the pursuer? Tactical concealed grenade carry. How many of the stories have people actually had guns in? I don't know. I feel like probably wouldn't have any content if everyone just had a gun. I saw a bad guy. He came up to me in the street. Thankfully, I had a gun and he ran away. It's a two-sentence scary story right there. I'm a full-time student, so if I'm not taking care of her, I'm studying finals next week. Wish me luck. Oh, geez, best of luck, friend. Damn, no sleep and kid. That's crazy. Well, I respect that. Getting through school with freaking newborn is crazy. I had my first baby girl this year. Now I understand what first-time parents look like, why they look like that. Yeah, fucking hell. You really, really have to be, like, truly in love with someone to, like, go through the process of raising children together, I believe, because I can only imagine, like, for the lack of sleep and, I don't know, just how, like, tumultuous the energy would be between people. Just got a new job and I'm super nervous. I know, don't be nervous. You gotta start somewhere, right? We've all had a day one, had a million different things. It's just like that all over again. At least you're not going to, like, D-Day. The live streams are great too. I just don't listen to them when I'm going to sleep. Otherwise, the choker voice. Wanna know how I got... Just a few minutes ago, it jolted me awake with a heart attack. Code Brown. Oh, you'll never sleep the same again. I have an 11-year-old and 9-year-old. Yeah, fucking hell. I mean, I look at my friend, like, in the span of such a short period of time. Well, he went through, like, a divorce over the past 2 years, but he's got, like, a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old, and, you know, they keep him plenty stressed. But, you know, especially with the divorce, it's like his hair, like, it's just crazy to look at him. His hair grayed so much in the span of such a short period of time. One of my first baby at 17, I called my mom at work. Mom, the baby is crying. What do I do? Lol. I went to get my bestie and we both figured it out. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and when it comes to, like, rearing children, I think I don't know, I feel I feel really bad for my one friend. Him and his wife have 2 daughters, and, like, it just seems ridiculous to me. Like, he tells me about his mom and dad, like, retired, like, you know, we live in Pennsylvania. His parents were from, like, Kansas, but they, like, moved to North Carolina to live on a golf course and retire and just, like, die there. I mean, they're not going to die soon, but it's the same time just like, what the fuck? You're just going to live in a golf community. Meanwhile, your grandchildren that are growing up, like, faster by the day are just, you know what I mean? You only get to see them, what, every 6 months or every year. You know, it just seems, like, strange to me. Why, like, as a grandparent, I feel like it's almost like you're, like, I get it, you're a human too, but I feel like at that point you would be obsessed with having to, like, be around and support your kids and your grandkids. Maybe I'm wrong, but I definitely think it takes a village. I could have a full-grown adult child if I played my cards differently when I was younger. Yeah, you gotta be careful. But just as he was making his way up the stairs, Steph's northern boyfriend, named Ryan, appeared with a cricket bat that he'd grabbed from my boyfriend's office and started swinging it as hard as he could while shouting, "Come on then, big man. Come and have a go at me then." Now Nick didn't hesitate and charged up the stairs at Ryan, who, by the way, was still wearing a full face of makeup. Oh. What the fuck? Okay, that's the boyfriend they were talking about. Okay. Wait, that's what they did at the fucking party, was put makeup on her actual boyfriend? So I think a lot of older people might have felt obligated to have children generationally. Maybe it's not their thing, I guess. Yeah, I'm not gonna knock them for it. It's just kind of sad whenever I see, like, my one friend, he, like, went through all sorts of, like, terrible stuff from, like, the lack of sleep from having his 2 kids and, like, working full-time and shit, which, you know, everybody goes through. But it was just wild to me to, like, think that I don't know, that nobody in the extended family seemingly wanted to be, like, involved in what I view as, like, a pretty normal and healthy group of people. You've had dogs before but never had any cats. Any advice for anyone would be appreciated? Yeah, I mean, cats are kind of easier than dogs, I think, for the most part. Like, when they're younger, you kind of, really young, a kitten, you just have to keep an eye on them. But for the most part, it's like once they learn how to find the litter box and shit and piss in there, and then you fill their food up with, some good dry food, maybe once a day wet food or whatever, as well as, like, sometimes, like, a flowing source of water for water. They kind of just do their own thing, and they will probably just, like, follow you around everywhere. I mean, yeah, cats can be evil, but as long as you, like, if you're used to always having dogs, just, like, aggressively love them like they are a dog, and they probably will just, like, act like a dog in the sense of being nice and stuff. Your kid is 25 and blocked you on everything. Her birthday was last Friday. Couldn't see her. Wait, why'd they block you? I'm sorry about that. You didn't have your son till you were 30 or 8. He's 18 now. That's awesome. 4 to 5 days I attempt to eat a bowling ball. Is that an issue? Does it fit? My mom and dad were and are super involved with all of my nieces and nephews, but my sibling-in-laws are all hands off because they did their time. That has always made me feel so icky. Yeah, that's strange. Okay. Nick didn't hesitate and charged up the stairs at Ryan, who, as you remember, was still wearing a face full of makeup, and Jane ran into the bathroom screaming and locked the door. Now, Nick was a big fella, and no offense to him, but Ryan wasn't, so I could see why Jane hadn't had no choice. Jesus Christ. Now, Nick was a big fella, and no offense to him, but Ryan wasn't, so I could see why Jane thought that he had no chance of stopping him. Now, I suppose Nick didn't believe Ryan was capable of it either, or was so blind with rage that it didn't occur to him, but as he came up the stairs, he left himself wide open for Ryan to bring that cricket bat down vertically right on the top of Nick's head. And the sound of that slab of wood made as it came to contact And the sound that slab of wood made as it came in contact with Nick's skull is something I'll never, ever forget. I'll also never forget that horrible feeling of, like, bloodlust almost, and it frightens me to remember how happy I was that Brian's swing made such effective contact. There was that horrible sort of muted thunk as the bat hit his head, and then Nick sort of grunted like the blow had done something to his brain, and it was really disturbing to hear, but again, I just thought good because it resulted in him stumbling back down the 2 or 3 stairs that he just climbed. Now, it was a double staircase, shaped in a sort of U, so like several steps, a flat turn, and then a couple more, so Nick didn't have far to stumble, and Jesus Christ, I'm trying to follow this fucking shit. We all think bloodlust is behind us as humans, but not if we are in a life or a death situation. Absolutely, dude, absolutely. Yeah, you never know. What if you have to, like, it'd be so embarrassing if you had to, like, kill someone in self-defense and then you, like, look down and you have a big old boner. What are you supposed to do then? You're like, what the fuck? I guess I'm a fucking serial killer, secretly. You'd embrace it. So it was a double staircase, shaped in a sort of U, so like several steps, a flat turn, and then a couple more. So Nick didn't have far to stumble, and it meant that he didn't have far to come back either. Only that time, he knew what Ryan was capable. I fucking hate that word. Capable. Too many fucking syllables. Pure intimidation, yeah. The next guy. Stay back. Got a big old boner. How far do you think you can read without fudging up? I've had some pretty good runs, but sometimes just like trying to follow like people's like stream of consciousness or whatever is just... It's like you have to like think how they're going to like start and stop and then also make it sound natural. And it's just like people's brains just jump from fucking thing to thing sometimes. So it's hard to anticipate all the time. What if Joel was related to Jack off the Ripper? Because he was ripping farts all day. Maybe I am related. Joel the Ass Ripper. Only that time, he knew what Ryan was capable of with that cricket bat, so the swings alone kept him at bay. Ryan wasn't alone anymore either. I remember someone coming out of a bedroom and throwing what turned out to be a ceramic wax burner at Nick as he stood there on the landing. Now, it was quite a hefty thing too, probably about the size of a person's head, and although it missed Nick and smashed uselessly on the wall behind him, it gave him a real fright. And literally everyone was screaming at him to get out, and Ryan was taking these wild swings at him as people were throwing stuff. But Nick had just seen Jane by this point, having run up into the bathroom screaming, and seeing her was like a red rag to a bull. So much so that he made a second attempt to climb those stairs that Ryan was defending. Ryan swung the cricket bat again, but Nick was ready for it, and held a forearm above his head to block the force. And to our absolute horror, he somehow withstood Ryan's full-force blow with the cricket bat and continued advancing up the stairs. He actually had a foot on the top stair when Ryan swung the bat a second time, but unlike the first, Nick's arm clearly couldn't handle a second, and it gave way to that... I'm in school to be a diagnostic med sonographer, and this is the only school that has that degree in my city. It's very cutthroat. The teachers have been getting on my ass. Man, it's tough. But, you know, you gotta do it for family. 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 Sometimes you just need someone to say, find a way. Find a way. I know, this person needs to do like a straight up drop kick. Get this guy off the top floor. But unlike the first block, Nick's arm clearly couldn't handle a second, and it gave way so that the cricket bat connected with his skull again, and that time, Nick full-on tumbled back down the short flight of stairs, flipping over so that when he landed, he was lying on his front. Now, it looked like he was out cold for a second, but then he raised his face towards us. He was awake, but he was bleeding, and I could see a smear of it near. Hey, TOS creator. Welcome back for 15 months. Hey, Let's Read. Been listening for years. I totally love your narrations. Thanks, dude. What's a TOS, Terms of Service Creator? Subscriber, I will fight you. /J. What's /J? Does that just mean just kidding, I'll kill you? But thank you for 15 months, friend. Smear near the rear. He was awake, but he was bleeding, and I could see a smear of it near. Why does that sound so weird? Jagger B with the 2, missed you, bro. Miss you too. Where you been? What's happening? What is new in the world of Jag? Joe, have you bought a Christmas presents yet? I bought some Christmas presents for like my friend's family, and I think I have stuff figured out for my parents. I don't know, honestly. I don't even know what to get anybody. Nobody even deserves anything. Everybody was on the fucking naughty list. They get locked in a fucking cage. That's what they get. My son messed up my trash or whatever. I'm old and I don't know how to fix it back. Messed up your trash? What do you mean? You're like a trash can? Or on your computer desktop? Or something? Don't ever put your trash icon into the trash icon. You'll get sucked into it, black hole style. I'm so sick of my voice is basically on, but I have to go to class tomorrow. Mind you, I'm training to be a dental assistant. They want me all up in people's mouths. Well, hopefully you don't have to talk too loud since you'll be like right up in their ASMR ear. Did I ever learn to play an instrument? No, sadly. I'd like to, it'd be fun, but you know. Oh, your YouTube name. Oh, okay, no worries. No worries. Yeah, the skin flute. I'm a connoisseur. It looked like he was out cold for a second, but then he raised his face towards us. He was awake, but he was bleeding, and I could see a smear of it near his hairline as he got up on very wobbly legs. And that's when someone started shouting, "The police are on their way! Don't let him leave! They're only a few minutes away!" And that flipped everything on its head. When we'd been screaming at him to leave, it was like Nick had gone completely berserk and couldn't hear us. But then the second he heard the words, "Don't let him leave," he decided that's exactly what he wanted to do. Now, I suppose hearing that part about the police sort of knocked some sense into him too. But yeah, he went back down the stairs again, and it was like the whole scene played itself out in reverse. Nick had to basically fight his way through a human wall of women to get out of the house, and while he did so with pretty much ease, he got a good clawing on his way out. And off he ran, into the night with a handful of drunk women trailing him on legs that were just as wobbly on their own. It was just absolute chaos. Our neighbors from across the street were coming out of their houses in their PJs and housecoats to... housegoats. All neighbors. Joel is the goat dude. By the way, chat. Thanks, bro. I'm a literal goat. Hey, there's Dark Somnium, bro. What's good, homie? How you feeling? You better be drunk. No, I'm just kidding. JK, don't ever drink again. Don't even drink once. It's like crack. Jagger B with the 2 says, "Miss listening to Sweet Daddy read Merry Christmas." I got you, bro. Merry Christmas. I didn't know they performed an eye exam as a prereq for a carry permit. Really? What state are you in? Is that federally now? Too late, homie. I'm 5 sheets to the wind. Starting to howl. Can you howl for us? Like a big old wolf, big bad wolf. Blow everyone's door down. What state am I from? The state of relaxation. Our neighbors from across the street were coming out of their houses in their PJs and housecoats. I can't... my God. House goats. Can I say the word coat? Please. Please, may I say it? Our neighbors from across the street were coming out of their houses in their PJs and housecoats to see what all the bother was about. Oh wait, dude, did I miss another 5 gifter? Dark Shamia, thank you so much for that. Did I miss a... No, I did. Okay, I thought I missed like 5 gifted up there, but Dark Somnium, thank you so much for the 5 memberships. 2. Corvina Chaos. Secavera Bias. Stories of the Night. Not a Bot. And Rowdy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dark Somnium. Guys, be sure to thank Mr. Somnio. Very kind man. I'm originally from Wyoming, moved to Idaho, then Missouri. I have a stigmatism and I'm severely nearsighted. Sam. Oh, okay. Our neighbors from across the street were coming out of their houses in their PJs and housecoats to see what all the bother was about. And then, seeing as multiple 999 calls been made, multiple police cars started turning up with their sirens blaring and their lights flashing. And I remember the first guy jumping back into his car once the girls explained what was happening. And then another car turned up minutes later, and 2 officers then started dealing with the girls after herding them back into the house. And it was only then that things started to calm down again, but obviously not for Jane. She didn't come out of that upstairs toilet until the policewoman knocked on the door and told her it was safe. And then, even when she did come out, she was absolutely hysterical. And the aftermath was horrible. There was a lot of crying while people were giving statements, and one of our friends got told off by another for offering the male officer a glass of wine, which is funny looking back on it, but at the time we were far too shaken up to find it amusing. But even then, the question on everyone's lips was this: how in the hell had Nick gotten out of prison when he was supposed to be in there for 5 years? We didn't find out for another week and a half, but before then, someone's shot in the dark had apparently hit the mark. I remember Steph texting me one night asking, "You don't think they let Nick out of prison by accident, do you?" Now I said no instantly because that didn't seem possible. And I mean, I could see someone being released a week or 2 early at the end of their sentence, perhaps due to some sort of error in the system or good behavior, but not someone who had only just arrived there a few days prior. Now, the staff would have had to have been brain dead, actually brain dead, to let that sort of thing happen, and while I'm sure the prison service has a few numpty dumpties, numpty. I'm going to call people numpties from now on. You need to have a gift receiving enabled in your YouTube settings to get the gift memberships. So it's, I think it's in your settings within... Hey Emma, what's up, dude? I guess, but it hurt so badly when I broke my wrist and I was on a couch bound. She didn't care to come see me. I've been crying for months. F hurts. I'm sorry about that. He went to the spa and got a massage, dude. Nice. You lucky dog. You ducky log. Feels amazing. Did you get like a manicure and all that kind of stuff too? He slowly got lowered into like a black goo. This will purify you. I just copped a new phone today. Been 6 years on a Galaxy S10 Plus, the only phone that I've ever been able to actually retire without any problems. 6 years, that's a long time. I do respect the Android stuff, or whatever those phones are that actually aren't like planned obsolescence all the damn time. No, I like my hands and my nails to do my own. Oh, word, that makes sense. Respect to that. What's my favorite cuss word? Oh, I don't think I've ever sworn before, to be honest. I have Tourette's, so if you hear anything bad, it's Tourette's. And while I'm sure the prison service has a few numpties hanging around, they can't possibly be that dense, can they? And so that was my stance on it. Nick had broken out of prison somehow, and no other explanation fit. Except there was another explanation, and it was the very same one that I'd refused to believe. Thanks to a freak clerical error, Nick had been marked for permanent, unsupervised release by Her Majesty's Prison and Probation Service. Not one single person thought it was unusual that a violently abusive man who'd recently begun a 5-year prison sentence was being marked for early release. Nick must have thought Christmas had come early when they came into his cell that day and told him to report to wherever you go to be released from prison, and all that stuff he came in with was returned to him, including his phone, and then through a little bit of Facebook wizardry, he found the group that we'd made for the Christmas party, which is how he found us. He was arrested a few days later following a brief manhunt, and he was then returned to prison, where he ended up doing 3 years of his 5-year sentence before being released on license. And that meant that if he made any contact with Jane or any of us, he'd go straight back to jail for the remaining 2 years. Jane said that she'd been in touch with a liaison officer who went through all the reasons that Nick had been deemed fit for release after 3 years instead of the full 5. They'd already paid her a hefty out-of-court settlement, but Nick being released on the day of that party was still treated as a really big deal, as it should have been. and the officer explained how Nick had been through all of his rehabilitation stuff in prison, anger management sessions, and stuff like that, and apparently he'd shown some really positive improvements over the years. We didn't believe any of it at first, so Jane and her boyfriend were really frightened of Nick showing up on their doorstep, but the prison service wasn't lying, and we later heard that he was moving elsewhere to start fresh. Now, I'm not sure where he ended up, and frankly, I don't care. But he certainly didn't breach the terms of his license, and as far as I know, he's been nowhere near Jane or any of us. Now, thank God for small mercies, I suppose, and Jane later told me that she'd sort of mentally forgiven the prison service for their massive mess-up. To me, that shows an incredible kind of grace from her, because if that was me in her position, I'm not sure I'd be a... Someone said, what do I think about beans on toast? I don't think I have any issue with it, but it makes me wonder, whenever people in the UK do eat beans on toast, what kind of beans are they having specifically, and are there variations of said beans utilized in said recipe? Also, why do they all eat stuff that makes it seem like they're homeless? Look what I got, boys. Piece of toast and a piece of beans. A bit of a smear. A smear for my rear. Jelly beans. Want some jelly beans? To me, that shows an incredible kind of grace from her, because if that was me in her position, I'm not sure that I'd be able to be. To me, that shows an incredible kind of grace from her, because if that was me in her position, I'm not sure that I'd be so forgiving over what amounted to a major cock-up of biblical proportions. You gotta dress up some beans on toast. That's your Halloween costume. One story down. We'd had nothing but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days. For 3 stinking days. Dude, honestly, I love the orcs. I love the Uruk-hai. I love all those, like, disgusting beasts that exist within Middle-earth. I think they are the funniest fucking characters that they ever made, and I wish... I don't know. I don't necessarily want, you know... if they make the show, I don't want them to humanize them in the way that they did with Rings of Power and stuff. Apparently that show sucks butt. I haven't watched it, so I'm not giving it a fair shake, but that being said, I would love an entire show where it just shows them and they're just like disgusting and gross the entire time. I guess I could play Shadows of Mordor. I heard Shadows of Mordor is a really... I played the first one. I don't think I played the second one. Rings of Power is an atrocity in the Tolkien fandom. Well, I heard that they fucked the whole thing up by not getting the access to the Silmarillion on the Tolkien estate through copyright. So they basically had to just make some shit up. So basically they fucked up the show completely. Dude, what is going on with people fucking things up? Is that just what Hollywood is now? Just a series of inept writers and inept leadership? Is everyone just a fucking moron? Everywhere you go, you think there would be it's been around forever. How the fuck, honest question, how the hell did Hollywood pretty much peak in the year 1990 to 2005, and then that was it? They're all right guys, hire the people that we hit over the head with hammers. The writers with a chip on their shoulder and something to prove by rewriting established properties to their tastes. But why is that their taste? I can't imagine in any... dude, I know so many, woke nerds who I assume you're trying to, say that is the writers, who loved the old Lord of the Rings, who loves the old canon, who loved Star Wars. So the people that they hired to like write stuff, like the only thing I can come to the conclusion is that they weren't fans. They genuinely were not fans of the shows. They weren't fans of the books. They weren't fans of any of it. They just, I don't know. Maybe they liked the fan fiction that they read on Tumblr more than they did the source material. It's just all very strange. I wanted to tell you that I streamed 18,189 of the Let's Read podcasts on Spotify, making it top 3%. Thank you. Thank you, Chirp. Appreciate you, dude. We got a lot of top listeners in here, guys. Thank you so much. Mon Blue became a member. Did I miss it? I'm so sorry. Oh, there you are. Mon Blue, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Do you like Harry Potter and are you excited for the new show? I'm not like a huge Harry Potter fan. I like it loosely. I like that it's very whimsical. I like this more... Like, I'm one of those people that likes the start of a Harry Potter game or movie when it's like showing like the whimsical nature of living in a fucking tree or something. You know, like you got Terry Whackers over here and Mitt Mops flying about with floaty powers and Mom's making stew with the ready glob. I don't know. Like there's something about that seems very pleasant and cozy to me. But then beyond that, I just don't really give a shit about any of the characters. Don't ask me why they decided to go those routes. On The Witcher specifically, the writers of production actually made fun of all the source material and reveled in the retconning of it. But you have to ask yourself, I know things are kind of changing, but you have to ask yourself, who is funding all of this? If these kinds of like approaches to the productions of pre-existing IPs is that of disrespecting said IPs to the detriment of the performance of the show, right? Why keep doing it, right? There must be like some degree of like infinite money just coming from the fucking sky like rain. Just an ocean of endless money to like slowly destroy all of these like, you know, previously agreed upon successful concepts. I just don't follow. I just genuinely do not follow this sort of like deconstruction of success. Mainly financially, like who is funding it? That is the $1 trillion question, I guess. Oblivion Shadows, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you, friend. They did Witcher so dirty, Henry Cavill straight up quit because of what they were doing in the story, which I respect him infinitely for that. I mean, you got to stand up. You got to stand up for what you believe. I mean, at the end of the day, anymore, is it even like really that impressive to be a part of Hollywood whenever that's the kind of shit that you have to be around? Like, sure, there was like a lot of terrible stuff happening in the past, which is like, I'm glad it becomes like uncovered. But in a weird way, I don't even imagine most of that stuff has even really necessarily stopped. But then the shows get terrible too. So it's like, why would you want to be around any of that? Bad shows, bad culture, dumb people, like literally just a series of like dumb criminals with whose brains are made of like boiling eggs. Mon Blue, thank you for reading me. Appreciate it. You're welcome, friend. You're welcome. I didn't know her as well as I'd like, but by all accounts, my grandmother was a real character. She grew up in Montgomery County, just a few miles outside of a town named Mount Ida, and then after she married my grandfather, they moved into a town to a... Either way, it pays. That's true. I'm just surprised, like, how far can you go just like hemorrhaging money towards the destruction of these intellectual properties? Is there just infinite money? Where's the source coming from? Where, you know, there's got to be somebody at the top being like, I've got a good idea. How about we take $1 billion and fucking burn it? Oh, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant idea. That would keep everyone warm for quite a while. And we can completely dismantle people with infinitely more life experience and writing capabilities than us. I love it. I love having no skills or anything original in me head. She grew up in Montgomery County, just a few miles outside of a town named Mount Ida, and then after she married my grandfather, they moved in... The grandfeather. Christ. That'd be cool if there was like a tribe of bird people and then the oldest one was called the grandfeather. Yeah, it's just like all of Hollywood's just like filled with the Joker. Everyone is just like a living, breathing Joker meme. She grew up in Montgomery County, just a few miles outside of a town named Mount Ida. And then after she married my grandfather, they moved into town to a little house at the end of the lane. Now, she gave birth to my dad about a year later, and Grandpa supported them by working in a nearby sawmill. It was a simple life, but it was a good one, and my dad can attest to them both being really good parents. But every so often he'd tell me a story about his mom or dad that reminds me just how rural Arkansas they really were, and this is one of them. So back during Christmas of 1961, my grandma was having a really busy day. She had to do a bunch of laundry, cook dinner for her sick mom, drop my dad off at the Santa's Grotto event in the fields outside of town, and then go buy some presents for her nieces and nephews. All before picking Dad up again from the grotto, delivering her mom's dinner, and then coming back home again and make another meal for her own family to enjoy that evening. My dad said that he was really excited about the Santa's Grotto thing, and Grandma was only too happy to drive him over to it since the event was staffed by local volunteers who took care of the kids. And that meant that local parents got a few precious hours to themselves at one of the busiest times of the year, so as you can imagine, it was a very popular place with the adults too. But it wasn't just a place to dump your kids off for a few hours so you could wrap and hide their presents. Their presents. Finish watching your songs with dark backstories. I love it. Will you have a part 3? Can definitely look into it for sure. It was a fun one. How did those do actually looking back? Let's gauge. Music. No, songs. Sorry. Oh, wait. Okay, so the first one got almost... That's crazy. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so the second one kind of fell off a little bit. So 13 songs with songs with creepy backstories. The first one got like 466,000 views, which is wild. 9 famous songs with creepy backstories, volume 2, and then that one like kind of got cut in half. So I don't know if people just kind of like lost interest at the time. Maybe I could change the title or something, and that would reinvigorate that success. But yeah, we definitely could look into that because that's more, it's like a researched topic of sorts. Have you read the Necronomicon book? Very interesting read. Well, the Necronomicon book is just like a series of collection of H.P. Lovecraft short stories, and I've sort of listened or am loosely familiar with like most of them. Is there a particular one that you like the most? But it wasn't just a place to dump your kids off for a few hours so you could wrap and hide their Christmas presents. Dad said that the grotto was awesome. There were songs, gifts, and games, all inside this beautifully decorated tent that felt like a winter wonderland right there in the middle of Arkansas. And then last but not least, before your mom and dad came to pick you up, you got to meet Santa, who gave you a little bag of candy and your very own toy. Dad said that he remembered being excited about it all morning. Grandma said that she remembered him bugging her while she was doing her laundry and then prepping her mom's evening meal. And then finally, after drawing... How dope is Santa? Santa's pretty cool. And then finally, after drawing up a list of which presents to buy each of my several aunts and uncles, Grandma announced that it was time to drive my dad to the grotto. Now he said he was raring to go, so he hopped in their truck, and maybe 10 minutes later, they're walking up the big old rival. Oh my God. He said he was raring to go. Raring to go. Hey Beth, what's up? I'll go with it. What's up, Daniel? How we doing? Oh, Daniela. Sorry, I read that wrong there. Jesus. What's up, Daniela? I really wish YouTube would change it back to just the fucking usernames. Like, it actually makes me so mad that, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck are you supposed to connect with people's names whenever it's all just the baseline username? Like, you're not, like, what do you, like, what? I don't know. I just can't really wrap my head around it. He said he was raring to go, so he hopped in their truck, and maybe 10 minutes later, they're walking up to the big old revival-style tent on the edge of town that served as the grotto. Now, the year before, all the folks taking care of the kids were either lined up outside to greet the parents, or inside taking care of the kids that were already there. But that year, there was no one outside at all, and it was only when Grandma got closer that a really badly dressed Santa Claus emerged from the tent to greet them. Grandma asked the guy where everyone else was, which prompted the badly dressed Santa to lift the flap of the tent and direct Grandma's attention to a single badly dressed elf standing over What time is it in USA? I'm on the East Coast, so it is almost 1 a.m. Santa? Grandma asked the guy where everyone else was, which prompted the badly dressed Santa to lift the flap of the tent and direct Grandma's attention to a single badly dressed elf standing near 24 kids. Again, Grandma asked where the heck everyone else was, but Santa assures her that they're just simply running a little late and that they'll be on the road in no time. Grandma said that she tried not to be too unimpressed with their lack of organization because she understood the busy nature of the season. And then, as much as the whole scene looked kind of off, the elf seemed like he was doing a good job keeping the kids entertained, so Grandma didn't pay it much mind. Now, my dad had been looking forward to it for days, and he raved about it after the previous year's showing. And so while Grandma felt comfortable enough to drive back home again, still couldn't shake the feeling that So while Grandma felt comfortable enough to drive back home again, she sells seashells by the seashore. What do you mean 1 a.m.? I'm about to crash out. Why are you about to crash out? Are you tired? Oh. Am I seriously mad at you? No, I don't. I'm not mad at you. What do you mean? I read your comment. Heck yeah, dude. I'm so good at reading. I can read everything. You could type anything in chat, and I could just totally read it. I silenced you last time. What did you do last time? You didn't mean to upset me. Oh, it's all good. It might have been like a moderator thing. Were you being naughty, doing naughty things? Now we're going to have a struggle session until you admit that you're a communist. In our midst. 95% healing stage in your broken wrist. That's good. You rage baited me. You baited my rage. Rawr! Rawr! You baited me bomba clot. So while Grandma felt comfortable enough to drive back home again, she still couldn't shake the feeling that something was a little different about the grotto that year. Santa Claus looked a heck of a lot younger than he did the previous year, and this one had the most weird feature about him. He had heterochromia, or differently colored eyes, as you might know. One bright blue one and one dark brown one. Now, getting back to her busy day, Grandma gets back into her truck, drives the short distance back home, and then goes on working on my great-grandmother's dinner, who was under the weather and too sick to make it for herself. Now, Grandma's balancing browning the meat, chopping garlic, and boiling vegetables, but all the while, she's listening to her wireless radio set. Now, Grandma used to adore that radio, and she listened to just about any time she was in the kitchen. Now, it didn't matter if it was the news, music, or talk shows, Grandma would listen all the same. And so there she was, cooking her mama's... Didn't the dad go with the kids, though? The parents were at the grotto. Isn't the dad there with the kids? So, what's the mom scared of? Did I miss something? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. What does that actually mean? I kind of forget. Y'all remember that one from a while back? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? That'd be great if a rapper named themselves Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Extraordinarily good, wonderful. The only word to characterize Kepler's discoveries was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Was it just made up by one person to be used one time? Supercalifragilistic. What about just baseline? Oh, it's still part of the same. Dude, she is literally supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sight of it may seem a bit atrocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Oh, that'd be so good. Guys, we gotta write our own musical. What's it gonna be about? So, there she was, cooking her mom's dinner when the radio DJ started talking... Wait, question. I wasn't paying attention. Is the dad... Where'd the dad go? I'm so fucking confused. My dad had been looking forward to it for days, and he raved about it after the previous year's showing, so while Grandma felt comfortable enough to drive back home again, she still couldn't shake the feeling that something was a little... Okay, so the dad was there. I don't know, I'm just confused why they're worried. And so there she was, cooking her mama's dinner when the radio DJ started talking in between songs. It was a news bulletin, and it was a serious one too. The DJ explained how there were 2 wanted criminals passing through Montgomery County, having robbed a bank in the city of Hot Springs the previous day. In the execution of this crime, the 2 criminals were said to have murdered 5 people, one of whom was a child. And as you can imagine, hearing this immediately got Grandma's attention, but as she listened, she went from harboring a cursory concern to feeling her blood turn directly to ice. The DJ went on to read out a description of the criminals, one given to him by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. One of them was shorter and skinnier with plain features, while the other had something much more distinctive about his appearance, that of heterochromia, or 2 differently colored eyes. Grandma said that she just about dropped what she was doing, turned off the stove and oven, and then set about frantically putting together a tray of food. She threw half-eaten pie on there, a few slices of bread and pieces of fruit, and then finished it off with a few handfuls of little candies that she kept in her pantry. She then grabbed the tray, ran out to her truck, and then zoomed off back towards Santa's grotto. But not before making a quick stop in her bedroom, where she took something out of Grandpa's nightstand. That was her plan. Oh, wait, shit. Christmas is this year. Guys, guess how many days till Christmas? Guess. Fucking guess. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 fucking days, guys. 14 days till Christmas. What are you guys gonna get me? Yeah, good question. Good question. What are you gonna get me? Hopefully a big fucking bag of coal because I need it for my furnace. It's freezing in here. Yeah, it was a Total Recall reference. 2 weeks. Which somehow worked out perfectly, thank God. Thank God for that movie. I still feel terrible. There's like a part I'll never forget as a kid, because they had some of the most gruesome kills in that movie. But I still feel terrible for the guy who was just like going up the escalator, and Arnold Schwarzenegger grabbed him and just used him as a human shield. And he just has like 15 fucking bullets exploding into his chest. Does anybody remember that scene? Joel, is your mom? Is my mom what? What are you going to say about my dearest, most beloved mother? What's Pradeep's favorite flavor of food? He seems to like chicken. Oh, Joe, I'm their mom. I am your mom. In this chat, I become your parent, and you guys can't fucking say anything bad, or I'll freak the fuck out unreasonably so and pull off a chancla. I'm gonna whip out the chancla like a samurai sword. Shing! I have a cat. I do have a cat, yeah. His name is Pradeep. He is the sweetest of hearts. He's over by the fire. He's over by the fireplace, gathering warmth. But not before... Mother frick. But not before making a quick stop in her bedroom, where she took something out of my grandpa's nightstand. She arrived at the grotto about 15 minutes later, zooming down the track towards the big old tent standing there in the field. She then got out of the truck, grabbed the tray of food from the passenger seat, and then started walking towards the tent while calling out, "Oh, Santa! Mr. Elf! I got the kids something to eat." She yells that out a couple more times, then out comes Santa and his elf looking confused as hell. Grandma stops about 10 yards from them, and then starts explaining how she and one of the grotto's organizers had arranged for her to stop by to bring the kids a bite to eat. Now Santa and the elf give each other another look of confusion, and then Santa responds, "Oh, sure, thanks. The kids would sure appreciate a snack right about now." They step aside from the tent flap and gesture for her to look inside, but Grandma doesn't budge. Instead, she gives Santa a big dumb look and asks him, "Well, aren't you going to take this tray?" Santa shoots his elf another look, who shrugs, and then Santa starts walking. "Oh, Santa Claus, oh, Santy Saint Nicholas." Can I start over? Alright, we're going to start over right now. Once upon a time. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Read. Santa shoots his elf another look, who shrugs, and then Santa starts walking towards Grandma to take the tray of food from her. But the second Santa puts both hands on that tray and took a step back from my grandma, she pulled out my grandpa's .45 and pointed it right in Santa's face. She didn't talk to him, not at first, Instead, she told Santa's elf not to move a goddamned muscle unless he wanted to see his buddy's brains blown out in front of him. She told them she knew who they were, and that while they might have fooled her the first time around, it wasn't about to happen a second. She might have been putting on a bold face, but Grandma later said that she was terrified. She didn't actually know how to use that .45, and she could only make it look like she did. So when she heard the sound of a second truck zooming up the track and realized the father of another child in that tent had been listening to the radio, she felt relief like never before. The other man had the presence of mind to call the county sheriff, so careful. Dude, I am so fucking confused. Did she not go to this fucking grotto with her husband? In which case, where the fuck did the husband go? Category 5 atmospheric river, been ripping and roaring for almost a week. It's bad, lots of flooding. Where's that at? Need a pretty cuddle at night, listen to your stories. Dude, he was so cute earlier. He slept with me, but he like climbed under my blanket and went all the way down to like near my feet under the blanket to sleep. I just thought it was funny. Hey, what's up, Justin? Oblivion. Lint or Ghirardelli? Lint? What is that? Lint? Oh, chocolate. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ghirardelli chocolate. Oh, the Ghirardelli to me looks better. Looks like the peanut butter. Yeah, I think I would want the Ghirardelli. Lint biscuit. The Ghirardelli Mafia family. The other man had the presence of mind to call the county sheriff, so a car full of deputies was just a few minutes behind him. Grandma and the man had the two criminals laying down in the dirt, and by then, the kids were all gathered outside the tent. Some of them were really upset at the sight of Santa Claus and his elf laying down at gunpoint, and they wailed up a storm as the deputies put them in cuffs and led them to their car. My dad said he actually hated her before she explained what happened, and that he'd never been so embarrassed in all of his life watching his mama holding Santa Claus of all people at gunpoint. I'm so fucking confused. Dude, like, how, like, where did the dad go? Was it not fucking, was that not the whole beginning part where he was like, I really want to go to this thing? My dad said he actually hated her before she explained what happened, and that he'd never been so embarrassed in all of his life watching his mama holding Santa Claus, of all people, at gunpoint. And it was only later that he realized what a hero she'd been, and how there was a good chance that she'd saved not only his life, but the lives of most of Montgomery County's children. The sheriff later said that there was a very high chance that those two criminals were planning on holding the county's children hostage, and with them already having killed a child over in Hot Springs, there was a chance that they'd kill even more kids to show that they were serious. Grandma ended up being my dad's hero, but also the hero of the whole damned county, and she ended up leading the town parade during the 4th of July parade of 1962. She had a ton of crazy stories like that, but unfortunately, I didn't get to hear even half of them with her own lips, as Grandma passed away when I was still in my teens. I wasn't able to get to know her a lot, but boy do I miss her. And I feel lucky that I got to spend the time that I did with her, but sometimes I feel like she's still around, in a manner of speaking. I see her spirit in me and my sister, and I see some of it in my own daughter too, because although we don't live the same way she did, there's still that streak of rural Arkansas wild that'll always be in our blood. Super Cali pessimistic, XBL and narcissistic. No joke, that's probably going to be like a TikTok armchair psychology diagnosis soon. Did you know that your ex-boyfriend is actually super Cali pessimistic, XBL and narcissistic? Also, if your mom ever told you no, she probably has that disease too. And you really can't blame them because they were born under a really strange star. And that star was called the bitch constellation, and they fucking suck. You'd be able to tell the story to somebody that's clueless and have them follow along. True. But I'm just confused in the sense of like, what was the fucking point of saying, oh wait, maybe I'm confusing I thought there was, okay, wait. Grab him on the counter. She gave birth to my dad. Okay. Where's his dad? My dad said he was really, okay, I'm the idiot, bro. I was thinking that there was like an actual dad in that scenario that was like also going there as a parent. Wait. So like, was the grandfather present? Where the fuck was you know what I mean? Like the kid's dad. I don't know, whatever. Just assume it's correct. Joel, I just saw your comment. Guy thinks he's Dr. Pepper. Where did I comment that at? What was the post? It sounds funny though. Gosh, I'm so funny. It's the funniest internet thing. The dad was the kid in the story, the grandchild is narrated. Right, but like, where was her husband? I thought there was like something to do with like the dad's dad. Was he anywhere? Was he just not? Did it say what happened to him? Funny looking, funny smelling. Baby, where the hell is her husband? Am I narrating as I read? Yeah, I am recording. I'm recording. You all are being recorded. Everything you guys type will be put into I actually made my own Palantir. Guys, don't say anything about Israel or you're not getting into Australia. It was on Instagram. Dude was mixing a buzz ball with Dr. Pepper and a drunk. What is it? A drunk came up repeating, bro thinks he's Dr. Pepper. Oh, so I just copied what the person said. That's funny. God, so goddamn funny. I love whenever, my favorite was when you go to the comment section and someone just repeats the punchline as their comment and everybody likes it. Like you can go into a comment section and just type the exact funny thing that was just said and you'll get 50,000 likes. You don't even have to think. And when you get 50,000 likes, that equals like $50 in real life, I think. The bank just puts it in your account. Yeah, you don't have to think. You just be born hilarious. Okay. Should I start my own AI Instagram? What's an AI Instagram? Where it's like your own social media? Honestly, guys, I don't give a fuck what you do. You know what I realize that there's a shortage of? There's always, okay, I saw the stupidest fucking commercial I hate so much it makes me want to jump off a cliff. It's like the commercials you've seen since you were a kid. And it's always this commercial where it's like, the daughter, she's like, I got into college. I got into fucking college. The really expensive good one that people just say is good and it needs to be expensive. And then the parents are like, woohoo! And then they look at each other like, uh-oh. So they go and meet with like a fucking person at a bank, right? And it's always a trusted representative at the bank who's like, well, congratulations, but we're going to take you to the next steps, which is basically them saying like, who wants to be in debt for the rest of your life so you can make your daughter happy? You know what I mean? And then I think to myself, I'm just like, they never show like the aftermath, you know, like does the daughter get a good job after she gets out of the stupid fucking university that's dumb as shit and doesn't matter, and she could learn everything at fucking home anyways or on the internet? But that being said, how come there's never a commercial about like entrepreneurship, you know? Like sure, there's plenty of entrepreneurial type people, but the only time you ever see like movies or entrepreneurial maneuverings, it's always like the made up propagandistic story of like the life of Bill Gates or the made-up nonsense of the guy who made Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. You know, it's always like that kind of stuff, like where it's like rags to riches, and they completely leave out like the, you know, sacrificing a child part or whatever. But how come they never just like have commercials of, you know, middle upper class success, starting a brisket store, or starting a YouTube horror narration channel? Where's my fucking biography? I'm seeing videos when someone claims they saved an animal like a wolf or a jaguar that was dying on X. Yeah, well, like, why are you filming that shit? Well, like, why do they gotta, like, take us through the process? Even though they most likely hit the thing over the head with a hammer and they're like, I'm saving it. I'm saving it. Mark Zoidberg. Whoop, 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 whoop. AI photos of Jesus rescuing a dolphin and Siamese twins. Dude, the one thing that makes me so upset about, like, AI art and AI shit, just, like, making it so you can't quite believe your eyes, is I saw someone saying that there was these giants that live in the side of a mountain somewhere, and it was like giant emerges from side of mountain, and it literally looked, it was just like the opening of a cave on the side of a mountain, like someone zoomed in from far away kind of vibe, and then it just sort of like stood there like it was, you know, taking in the sights or pissing. And it looked very, very real. It literally looked like the ones, like exactly like the ones from Skyrim, if you played Skyrim and the giants in that. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit inclined to at least desiring that they exist. And the fact that when I saw it and it looked very convincing, and then immediately you're like, oh, I don't even know what is real or what isn't anymore with AI. It just filled me with a certain degree of sadness and rage. I just want giants to exist, man. I want something fucking cool to be discovered on camera. It caused the people at the top constantly wanting to keep themselves at the center, and only every now and then does someone get acknowledged by their hive mind freakiness, and then there's a new celeb. I know, and how much of that is just like drummed up success? Like, how many times do you sign into Instagram and you're like, or, you know, you get on social media and you see somebody who has another 10 million followers? It's like, where do they come from? Where do they go? Where do they come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Joel, what are your thoughts on the Kardashians being on Fortnite? They deserve it. They worked hard. They were pro gamers. I remember when Kim Kardashian beat Ninja in a one-on-one build sesh. She absolutely fucking dominated him, headshots only. They worked hard. They certainly did. You guys don't remember, but the Kardashians worked in the lithium mines for most of their youth before they were able to save up a few pesos to go start a makeup line and make a sex tape. Robert Kardashian. When I was just 4 years old, I saw Santa Claus. I remember waking up in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve and creeping around my parents. I remember when I was 4 years old, I saw Santa Claus making out with my mom. Sandy Claus. Sandy cheeks. I saw SpongeBob and Patrick delivering presents. I remember waking up in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve and creeping around my parents' apartment as I tried to catch a glimpse of him in the act. And there I was, tiptoeing around, when I suddenly heard a noise coming from outside the window where the fire escape was. Now I remember being kind of scared as I peeled back the curtain, but then, there he was. Red clothes, big black boots, and that big old beard framing a very wide, friendly smile. God damn it. Framing friendly farts. YouTube having an ad pop up when I pause the video is frustrating. Yeah, I have ads off, so like if YouTube's running ads when they shouldn't be, sounds like a class action lawsuit. No, I'm just kidding. But come on, you poop. Great also the fact that they attempt to get individuals, unique people who make music or script, etc., and then they get them to sign contracts, stripping away their genuine raw aspect. Yeah, that's the one nice thing about like this, like in my brief, very brief, like okay, I'm a YouTube person, right? I'm like a medium, I get it, like I have over 1 million subscribers, but when it comes to like my overall viewership and reach, when you look at the overall numbers, I'm very much a medium-sized content creator for the most part. Just to clarify, like I fall very much in the bell curve. I'm not trying to flex. I'm just trying to give it as like an example. I fall within the bell curve of content creators in the center. But the point that I'm trying to make is that any brief experience that I've had where I've tried to like participate in the realm of the professional, of the Hollywood, of all that shit, it's just annoyed the shit out of me. All the people that I've interacted with, the expectations you have, the contracts that are presented before you, it's literally all to just like milk you like a fucking farm cow. And I'll be honest, I don't quite appreciate it, to be quite frank. And it makes me never want to like pursue anything really higher than whatever the fuck this is, you know what I mean? You thought it was a boxer? No, dude, one boxing match and I'd have permanent CTE. I talk like this. I remember being kind of scared of Santa Claus, but that wasn't until I fought Logan Paul. Unbox my free product. I could, I guess. You gonna send me something? Unbox my glitter-covered poop. Dog shit. I remember being kind of scared as I peeled back the curtain. Wait, did I miss something? And so there I was, tiptoeing around when I suddenly heard a noise coming from outside the window where the fire escape was. I remember being kind of scared as I peeled back the curtain, but then, there he was. Red clothes, big black boots, and that big old beard framing a wide, friendly smile. I was stunned, totally dumbstruck, standing there with what was probably this wide-eyed look on my face. Santa froze on the spot, obviously embarrassed that he'd been discovered by a child, but then all he did was smile and wave at me. I was expecting wave back. A Quinnipiac forced dorm residency for freshmen and maybe softs too, so tack on like 10 to 15K on the semester, like on top of the... What are we talking about? The cost of college? Let's read channels on the side of YouTube. That's actually nice. Hell yeah, dude. I don't know. I think it just comes down to like how the content creator conducts themselves with his audience, you know what I mean, in the sense of communication. Because if I was just sort of like autistically screeching about stupid shit the whole fucking time, like most streamers seem to do, or getting like randomly irritated or like playing, I don't know, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously I get irritated, but if I was just mean to you guys the whole time or like really taking everything you say in a negative light, I think that would over time start to fashion the sort of generalized culture and sort of like top-down way. Where do we send you gifts and cookies? Just leave them out on Christmas Eve, right by the fireplace, with just one of those special make you feel silly cookies. Too sensitive? I think a lot of streamers that I like, they genuinely are very sensitive, which is understandable to a degree, but I don't know, I go watch streamers on Twitch, and whatever it is about Twitch's chat, it's just this amalgamation of a hive mind. Nobody ever is having a conversation or really asking anything fun, and the streamer always just seems like perma-annoyed. Just like permanently annoyed or completely ignoring their chat the whole time. Do you listen to the Jumpers Jump and their conspiracy theories? I've never listened to Jumpers Jump. What are they talking about lately, or what do you find interesting with their stuff lately? I am mean. Am I mean? I try not to be mean. If I was ever mean, just understand I will be mean again. Santa froze on the spot, obviously embarrassed that he'd been discovered by a kid, but then all he did was smile and wave at me. And then after I waved back, he raised a single finger to his lips and made a shh sound. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and you can bet your ass that I tried to keep my mouth shut since it was on Santa's orders. But after he crept down the fire escape and out of sight, I don't think even a minute passed before I ran into my mom and dad's room and announced that I'd just seen Santa. Now they obviously responded saying, "Sure you did, buddy. Now go back to sleep." But I couldn't. I think I just laid there all night before I finally just couldn't take it anymore and rushed downstairs to see if Santa had left my presents under the tree. I knew that he must have if I'd seen him on the fire exit, and I was right because there they were, all wrapped up with bows on them. And to me, it was the best Christmas ever. I got a brand new set of Legos from my parents, and then when my grandparents showed up, they brought me this sort of pop-up book on dinosaurs, which I was completely obsessed with at the time. And we all ate dinner, and after dinner, they talk about everything conspiracy. They make me question life. Can you tell which ones are interesting so we can also question life? Don't join a potential high-stress situation you can't hack, and also indeed, sometimes people try to act like to be edgy even though it'll make people not like them. What are we talking about? We have super fun live streams on Sundays and Wednesdays. They're super fun. These streams are super fun, and they're always on Wednesdays and Sunday nights. If you guys could rate how much fun you were having every stream, would it be super fun? Hey Daily, what's up? So much fun, it's like driving a steamroller. Yeah, should we do a poll? The poll. Starting a poll. Are you having super fun? Yes or yes? What's up, Jesse? You're working graveyard shift. Let's go, dude. That's my degenerate schedule I love. We all ate dinner after exchanging gifts and then fell asleep in front of the TV before my dad carried me to my bedroom. The next day meant more visitors, and more visitors meant more presents for yours truly. And so once again, I'm on top of the world getting all kinds of toys and candy from my mom and dad's friends. And we got so many visitors that even the police stopped by. They didn't bring any presents for me, but I remember thinking it was nice that they stopped by all the same. But then, as most of you probably figured, and I myself figured out years later, those cops didn't stop by just to wish us a Merry Christmas. Years later, at the very end of elementary school, a rumor went around that shook even the 5th graders to their cores. Someone was claiming that jolly old Saint Nick, who we all accepted as the magical deliverer of gifts, was actually fake. He actually didn't deliver billions of gifts to children worldwide in the space of a single night, and not just Got fucking Pradeep's hair everywhere. I feel like my fingers are covered in barbecue sauce, and I don't quite know how. They smell very barbecue saucy. The poll that you're answering right now is to simulate what it's going to feel like soon, where you will own nothing and be happy. Are you happy? If there's any inclination towards the word no, we will remove that word no from your vocabulary, and we will remove the feeling of sadness. Your brain, made of electrical diodes and meat sauce, is hackable. We will find our way in there. We will transpose the reality we so desire. A ketchup popsicle to an Eskimo. Honestly, a ketchup popsicle, I feel like they wouldn't mind it. Got like a frozen fish. Actually, think about it. Like frozen fish with ketchup. It sounds disgusting. Did you hear about the woman, Carol, who had told total schizophrenic breakdown because the ad she got on her smart refrigerator for that new show, Pluribus? Yeah, I heard that was actually the creator of Breaking Bad did that show. Is it good? And why did she have a schizophrenic breakdown from seeing an ad on her fridge? I'm in my final week of my fall semester in university. Internship almost done. I'm so ready for winter break. I've been burnt out, and now I'm getting sick. I'm just so tired. Get yourself some Zicam, some of those like dissolvable tablets. It's been helping my immune system lately, and it's got to get the zinc. Get the zinc in ya. But congratulations, you're almost there. School generally does just fucking suck for the sole purpose of knowing what sucking feels like. But eventually, you will find a point in your life where maybe you'll miss it a little bit. It's Zicam. It's basically just like a immune boosting or like cold shortening thing. Like as soon as you experience symptoms, you can get it over the counter at like wherever you can get pharmaceutical stuff. Zicam. The ad said, "Sorry to upset you, Carol," or something, which is her name, and she thought that she was having an episode and checked into a clinic. Oh, that's funny. Everyone else's misery is my entertainment. I wouldn't have it any other way. He actually didn't deliver billions of gifts. He actually didn't deliver billions of gifts to children worldwide in the space of a single night, and not just because Rudolph, with his nose so bright, couldn't guide. He actually didn't deliver billions of gifts to children worldwide in the space of a single night, and not just because Rudolph, with his nose so bright, couldn't guide the sleigh tonight. It was because it was all just made up. And we all thought it was just baloney at first because, like, why would someone make all of that up? Especially if it was our parents doing all that gift shopping and gift wrapping and gift hiding till they could be planted under the tree. They'd want the credit if it was all their handiwork, right? Well, not according to Kathy Newman in the 4th grade, who'd said that she'd found the dollhouse that she'd mentioned in her letter to Santa hidden in her parents' garage. And she said that she'd posted that letter her very own self and that not a single other soul had seen it. But if that was the case, how did her parents know which doll's house? Where's the fucking scary part? My Google search told me this. Recall, a 2025 recall involved microbial contamination, fungi, and some Zicam nasal swab components. Yeah, you don't want to do the nasal swab ones. Well, they probably wouldn't even be available, but there's ones that are like lozenges that will dissolve on the tongue. And just don't chew them up, just sit there and let it dissolve. Maybe even under the tongue, who knows? Rudolph, with your cock so red. Alright. She said she posted that letter her very own self and that not a single other soul had seen it. But if that were the case, how did her parents know which dollhouse to buy? Now looking back on it, Kathy probably told her mom which dollhouse that she was going to request from Santa, and that's how she knew which one to buy. Kids are stupid like that, I guess. But Kathy wasn't the only one who had stories like that. I remember getting the bus home from school and then asking my parents if it was true and that Santa was all fake and stuff. Now, Mom very cleverly told me that some kids, as they get older, choose not to believe in Santa anymore. But since Santa only visits kids who choose to believe in him, that's when a kid's parents have to step in to fill the gap. I guess she didn't want to be the one to burst my bubble, but then I hit her with what was really bothering me. Because if Santa wasn't real, then who was the guy I'd seen climbing down our fire escape that night? Now I remember her saying, "Huh? Who was climbing down the fire escape?" And I couldn't believe that she didn't remember it for a second, but when she explained that she'd been half asleep when I ran into her bedroom to wake her up, I told her the story all over again. The guy in the red clothes, his big beard and the smile behind it, and then the way he shushed me before he sort of just went off down that fire exit. I remember Mom looking all kinds of shocked for a moment before my dad stepped in to save her by saying something like, "Sounds an awful lot like Santa to me, son," or at least someone dressed like him. Someone dressed like him. Now that made sense. I was starting to really doubt the whole Santa thing because a lot of what the kids said at school made a lot of sense. But then a guy dressed like Santa on Christmas Eve, that seemed like the most normal thing in the world. Now anyways, more than 10 years passed and I'm living on my own, but I've driven back to Mom and Dad's to spend Christmas with them and my little brother. It was December 23rd, so almost Christmas Eve, and after a late dinner, we stayed up drinking a little wine together. We worked our way through one bottle, and my little brother was even allowed to have a glass if he agreed to go to bed immediately afterwards. And not long after, Mom called it a night, so it was just me and Dad polishing off that second bottle together, reminiscing about the Christmases past. Now, eventually I brought up that whole Santa sighting that happened when I was 4. Obviously not to claim that I'd actually seen him, but how it amused me that I was so very deeply believing that I had, even though it was just a dude in a Santa costume. And I thought Dad might laugh, or at the minimum crack a smile. But he didn't. He just kind of sighed before he took a big gulp of that wine in his glass. And I knew some kind of explanation was coming, and I figured that it was going to be a bad one. And then when it came, it was just as bad as I thought. So remember when I told you that the cops paying us a visit on the day after Christmas? Well, they were there to ask Mom and Dad a few questions about a murder that had happened just a few floors above them. They didn't tell my parents this at the time, but it turned out to be one pimp. Turned out to be a little pimp. It's always a pimp. Pimp named Slickback. A pimp named Slickback. It's just a little pimp. Just a tiny little pimp. My voice is bussin'. Thanks, dude. Bussin'. How big? Honestly, no bigger than the size of a highlighter pen. Am I traveling for Xmas? Not too far, honestly. just to family, which is in state. Bah humbug. Are multiple pimps called a pimple? I think it's like a gaggle of pimps. A rape of pimps. No, they'd be called a slap of pimps. A group of pimps is called a slap. No, that's not true. It would be called a hater's ball. A player hater's ball of pimps. A mischief of pimps. Mischief of pimps. They just like fly away. Brightly colored fur suits. They hit you with their canes. They hiss at you. Yeah, I really feel like pimps have lost their sense of fashion lately. I haven't seen them about. Out and about. Out and about with my pimp. So, remember when I told you about the cops paying us a visit on the day after Christmas? Well, they were there. Motherfucker. Well, they were there to ask my mom and dad a few questions about a murder that had happened just a few floors above them. They didn't tell my parents this at the time, but it turned out to be some pimp who beat the snot out of one of his girls. He beat her so bad that she ended up in the hospital, and it was her brother that got notified. So after heading over to the hospital to talk to her sister about who did it and why, he went straight over to the guy's apartment in our old apartment building and stabbed him to death. Apparently that girl's brother stabbed her pimp exactly 112 times. I mean, think about that. Think about stabbing a person just 10 times. That's a lot of stabbing, right? Now times it by 11 and change, and to do that you'd literally have to be going berserk, like zero self-control, or hate a person so bad you just temporarily lose your mind. But I guess if I had a little sister, and someone got her hooked on drugs, pimped her out, and then sent her to the hospital, I'd be pretty awfully tempered to turn them. What's up, HD? Love your videos, my favorite scary story and everything. Thank you for all I do. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nicholas. Good to see you. A jive of pimps. That, oh my god, that actually seems like one of those Naked Gun jokes or something like that. There's a jive of pimps over there, sir. A nepotism of pimps. An assistant pimp. Yeah, do you have to go through like a pimpmanship to become a pimp? Where you shadow under another pimp for 6 months or go on different rotations with the varying pimps? Do you have to take your Pimplex test? Mexican versus Indian versus Italian food, which one's better? Honestly, Mexican food, I would say. I just feel like I could eat it the most, you know. Probably then Italian food and then Indian. I don't really get to have Indian food too often. There's some Indian places around. But I prefer the former forms of diarrhea. A fatherhood of pimps. A triad. When you went trick-or-treating, there were 4 girls dressed as classic pimps. That's amazing, honestly. Like, that actually sounds like the funniest. Like, I can only imagine being that age and you and your friends are like, we should be pimps. We should be pimps. That just sounds like something like a stupid group of kids, which like, and for some reason the parents just like don't know what it is. They're like, yeah, they're just wearing some weird fur fur on the boots and a brightly colored fur jacket and a cane and a big old hat. But you're all like just like varying colors like the Teletubbies. But I guess if I had a little sister and someone got her hooked on drugs, pimped her out, and then sent her to the hospital, I'd be very tempted to turn them into a human pincushion too. The guy sneaking down our fire escape wasn't dressed in red clothing. He'd been wearing a white t-shirt that had been soaked in the pimp's blood. And just about the only part that... Wait, what? Why did he come into their house? I guess we'll find out in these last paragraphs here, but... Go-go dancers? Oh yeah, might have been. Well, you guys are a group of pimps. And they're just like, what? What are you talking about? You turned 27, happy birthday. Oh, turning 24, happy birthday. Congratulations, guys, you've survived another year on Earth. How many more will you make it? The guy sneaking down our fire escape wasn't dressed in red clothing. He'd been wearing a white t-shirt that had been soaked in that pimp's blood. And just about the only part that hadn't was right. Oh, I see. And just about the only part that wasn't... What the fuck am I reading? Jesus Christ. And just about the only part that had not was right up near his neck where there was a flash of white trim, and I guess in my tired 4-year-old brain, that made it look exactly like a Santa Claus costume. Mom and Dad didn't take me seriously when I reported what I saw, and nor did anyone that remembered it when the cops came to visit that day after Christmas. They only realized what I'd actually seen once I was in 8th grade, and I came home with all kinds of questions about Santa being fake. 8th grade? What? Wait, no. They said... Did they type that wrong? 8th grade? No, wait, that's not right. I think they fucking mistypoed that. The very end of elementary school room... Okay, 5th grade. Jesus Christ, sorry. How the fuck they fucked that up, I have no idea, but... 5th grade. A Nobel Peace Prize for reading. And the best narrator who sounds like fucking AI because he's so perfect. Let's read. They only realized what I'd actually seen once I was... They only realized what I'd actually seen once I was in 5th grade, and I came home with all kinds of questions about Santa being fake. If you remember, it was my dad who got in there with the save, so I didn't look into it and find out that I'd seen a murderer covered in blood that night. And if I had, who knows what kind of effect that would have had on me. I guess that's why our parents don't tell us those little... I guess that's why our parents tell us those little white lies. It's not just to make us believe there's magic in the world, it's to protect us from all the darkness that exists alongside it. Alright, holy fuck. Well guys, I'm gonna go grab some tea real quick. Can I come back in like 5 minutes or so? Hey, just want to say thanks for staying consistent. I made it into the top 0.4% of viewers this year. That's how much I watch you. Thank you, Bailey. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. 0.4% is crazy, so God bless you. Appreciate you. Keep listening. What's up, Sonomi? You should use a voice changer, but just make it fart noises after every word. Okay. BRB, I'm gonna make some tea. I made my sister listen to you, Joel, and she was instantly intrigued by the story and the way you read the story, and obviously your voice and her had her captivated. Let's freaking go, dude. Soon, I'm gonna be at the barbecue. You just wait. Guys, what kind of tea? It's just cocoa sleep mix bullshit and some hot Keurig water. So pretty much cancer. Cancer-causing chemicals going down my throat. Starting January 1st, if you are critical of Israel, you can't come in anymore. You can't join us at Thanksgiving dinner. Can't have any fun. No memes or funnies will be had by anyone. I think my immune system was like, please, stay resting, my homie. I mean, honestly, I don't even know. I sometimes wonder if my immune system is just turning to shit, because, like, if I don't get my daily allotted 24 hours of sleep, I just feel fucked. Okay. One more hilarious Christmas story for the road. Ah, man. What we need to do is get every person with lots of money in finance high as shit. And once we've gotten them high, we need to convince them that the human population is actually good. I've been sick twice since the end of October, and I'm still, and you started the day after Thanksgiving. Damn. Sound like Willy Wonka, who sang the song in the boat scene. It's raining, it's snowing, hurricanes are blowing. You should learn the 7 major minor chords on piano guitar. I think you'd have a lot of fun with silly songs or harmonizing the E major when you came in. That's funny, yeah. I feel like, yeah, I gotta do it. I gotta like learn how to make music and sing and write before I die. I'll have to learn all the major expressions. Do you like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Yeah, it's such a good show. I haven't seen it in a while, but my one friend watches it all the time. He's always talking about it. Whenever like Danny DeVito's like, now yes, I went to Epstein's Island, but I just went for the snorkeling and the dolphin rides. I just went for the snorkeling. So my mom is French and of Congolese descent, but she moved to Montreal when she was in her 20s. And that's where she met my father, and she used to live in Marseille? What the flurp? That's a French place. Is that a French place? You just happy to see me. Are you French or are you just a bitch? Alright, let's see how we say this. Marseille. 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 Tua. Hey, Tea Time, what's up? Marseille. Tua. Okay. This is stream ending. We got one more story here. That's where she met my dad, but she used to live in Marseille, which is this big port city in the southern coast of France. It's a really beautiful place and literally thousands of years old, so there's this crazy mishmash of old and new architecture that you can only really describe as Mediterranean. And then seeing as it's a straight shot from there to Africa if you sail directly south, the place is a real melting pot, as they say. There are the Algerians, the Senegalese, the Cameroonians, and of course, the Congolese, like my mother. And although they don't strictly live side by side, there is a lot of mixing between groups as well as the native French. People enjoy each other's food, they socialize with each other, different cultures, but one people. But that's either downtown or way out in the suburbs because, as my mom told me, there are places in the inner cities that aren't nearly so wonderful, and she grew up in one of them. Mom said that she grew up in one of these 3 large apartment blocks in a place called La Castellane. I'm going to the Congo. I'm gonna go find my friend. Have you seen him? He's big and hairy and scary and goes rah, rah, rah. Castellane? You were napping, Tea Time? Isn't it a little bit late for a nap? What is it? Castellan. Bonito Castellan. Boni, everything down here. Everything I would do deeper voice. When you're speaking French, you're always giving a kiss to someone. Come here, I tell you about the funny thing that happened to me today. Do Castellan. Okay. Mom said she grew up in one of these 3 large apartment blocks in a place called La Castellane, which, for those who follow soccer, is where a guy called Zidane. Of course, if I get the fucking name wrong, I'm gonna... Soccer. Castellan. Zidane. What? How the fuck do you say it? Zidane. How would you guys phonetically? I'll just ask the AI. How to say Zidane? Pats, you don't understand. Football do not exist in United States. We call them foot fairy. Zidane. Is it really Zinedine? Zidane. Is it really just Z like zebra, Dan like Dan? Like wait, Zidane or Zidane? Can you guys tell me phonetically? Can you guys tell me? Zidane Dan. You're binging on chips right now. I can't stop. No worries. Anybody know? Anybody know? Bazinga? Did we get it right? Wait, Zidane? How do you... I don't understand the Danny. Zidane? Because this is telling me something different. Zinedine. Zidane. Zidane. But then Forvo, which is like someone actually saying it, is like Zidane. Zidane. What if I click on the Spanish one? It doesn't even fucking have it. Zidane. Whatever, I'm just gonna say Zidane. That sounds ethnic enough to me. And I forget how to say the other place already. Oh my god, I'm gonna flirt my flirpin' skull off. Okay. Castellan Zidane. Jesus Christ. Mom said she grew up in one of those 3 large apartment complex blocks in a place... That's not even what it fucking says. I'm just like making stuff in my head. Mom said she grew up in one of 3 large apartment blocks in a place called La Castellan. Who fucking even gives a shit? Castellan. Mom said she grew up in one of 3 large apartment blocks in a place called... It's like getting harder. Mom said she grew up in one of 3 large apartment blocks in a place called La Castellan, which for those of you who follow soccer, is where a guy called Zidane grew up. I don't know soccer, but I hear that's a big deal. Anyways, there were some really tough places. Like these days, French kids literally call it just Le Ghetto, and rappers. These were really rough places. Like these days, French kids literally just call it Le Ghetto, and rappers call themselves stuff like Ghetto Phenom, which probably doesn't need any translating. And so yeah, that's where Mom grew up, and if you exclude the... I'm like getting fucking like... dyslexia like as I fucking read. Holy shit. I need more belief. Guys, I need you to send me a spirit bomb. Give me your energy. So yeah, that's where Mom grew up, and if you'll excuse the cliche, what they lacked in wealth, they made up for in spirit. People took care of their neighborhoods, doing whatever they could to keep each other going. And a prime example of that would be what Mom and her neighbors tried to do for a lady named Madame Bissaka. And so Mom was in her teens when this all happened, so either the late 70s or early 80s, but a few years before that, Madame Bissaka's family experienced a terrible tragedy. In the final year of his high education and said to be the first of their family to attend university, the Bissaka's son suddenly and inexplicably disappeared. There were pleas for the boy to come home, and missing posters were posted on walls all up and down the area, but Madame Bissaka's son was never seen again. Poor Madame Bissaka painted her boy as an angel, saying that he was pure-hearted and innocent and would never do anything to get himself into trouble. But according to my mom, that wasn't entirely. How many people in your real life know about your channel? Do you keep it to yourself? Most of you are open about it. I'm pretty open about it, like most people know. And they kind of just don't care, which is funny. They're just like, ah, cool. Cool. But then I randomly have some friends who then they tell me they like listen to me every night, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's pretty cool. Like my one friend listens to me while he's at work every day, he says, and then another says that he falls asleep to my voice and that he leaves it on all day for his dog because he doesn't want his dog to be like feel lonely, which is kind of cute. He has like a a husky named Frosty. And Frosty has like, she's pretty old, but she's in really good shape. Huskies I feel like are always like that. They're interesting. And she had like really, really bad seizures and stuff. And so like she's always just kind of like super, super chill about like literally everything. But she's so nice, dude. She's like the nicest dog ever. Zidane. I think everyone listens to you at work and has fallen asleep to your voice before. That's good. It's the only way that I can enter your brain while you sleep, like Freddy Krueger. Freddy Pooper. But according to my mom, that wasn't entirely true, and everyone knew it. You see, I don't want to remember how to say any word anymore, man. I'm so fucking sick and tired of it being, and I just want to fucking know it. Marseille, okay. You see, Marseille isn't just a cutesy little port city like Nice or... You know what, I'm not even gonna fucking say those ones. I don't care. You see, Marseille isn't just some cutesy little port city. It's a major dock for international trade, and wherever big containers are passing through ports, dollars to donuts, people were smuggling stuff in those containers. Sometimes it's weapons, sometimes it's people, but most of the time, it's drugs. So seeing as Marseille was like the landing zone for all these narcotics, there was, and still is, a huge drug trade in the city. Cocaine hit Marseille in the same way that it hit Miami, because not all of that stuff was flying into America on planes. Tons of the stuff was going to Europe, so Marseille just... God, dude. God. I just think about like how many fucking places in the whole earth were completely, absolutely fucked by the mass transport and distribution of just cocaine, fentanyl, all this kinds of shit, man. Like so many communities are just like in perpetual gang violence because of perpetual import and selling of like drugs. And then people's lives are destroyed by drugs. I just don't understand, man. Is there any way we can put a stop to any of it? I guess no, because if anything, it's like the war on drugs, quote unquote, just made things worse. Opium, yeah, how do we just go burn all the poppy fields down in Afghanistan? What do we do? Tons of the stuff was going to Europe, so Marseille got just as violent as Miami did during that same period. I mean, fuck. The war on tugs. The war on pugs. There's a war on Christmas and there's a war on pugs. Do you think Santa Claus is delivering fentanyl to every little kid? Cocaine hit Marseille in the same way that it hit Miami, because not all of that stuff was flying into America on planes. Tons of the stuff was going to Europe, so Marseille got just as violent as Miami did during that same period. But by the time my mom was a teenager, each and every one of Marseille's gangs were financing themselves by selling these drugs. But that brought all the territorial violence it does everywhere else, and that meant every so often, a boy like Madame Bissaka's son, who was known to be involved in gangs, would just disappear. And I guess no one had the heart to tell her, but she and her husband eventually found out, and when they did, they say it killed him. I don't believe that the old died of a broken heart thing, but I do believe that Monsieur Bissaka, When I was a teenager, we were driving somewhere and he fell off his bike and we called him T. What are you talking about? As long as there is a war on terror, there will be no real war on drugs. I guess that's true, right? Because, I mean, like, half of the reason of, like, entering into the Middle East, at least in the Afghanistan region, seemed to be just about, like, controlling those poppy fields and the growing and distribution of said poppy / opium. So, man, it's just so diabolical when you really just sit there and think about how diabolical that is. The making of those drugs illegal, right, which I'm sure just adds to the amplification of, like, the internalized fear, and then just the buying and selling of the drugs, the addiction of them, and then just like the just said in the story, all the territory conflicts that go along with it. Like, that's literally all of the endless gun violence that you see in the inner cities is all probably motivated by territory, gangs, and drug sales, mostly. And it's just like, fuck, man, how do we break free of this? I don't know. It's funny how we say war on drugs when it's really a war on mental health. What do you mean? Can you elaborate? I don't believe in that old died of a broken heart thing, but I do believe that Monsieur Bisaka simply... Am I saying that right? Monsieur. Oh, dumb. God. Monsieur. Monsieur. What the fuck is it spelled like that, then? Mentally unwell people get caught up in addiction the most. Yeah, that makes sense. I just don't really know what would be your, like, approach? I guess I'm trying to think, like, so, like, there's a war on drugs, which would be the war on, the war on the distribution and selling of said drugs. But with the mental health, people are the ones just using the drugs. The war isn't necessarily on them, right? The war would be more on, I guess, the distributors. I'm not justifying any of it because it's all, I'm sure there's where it all stems from. Like, if you can find the hive mind, you can kind of just, nip it in the bud. The lack of mental hygiene in the world is what's absolutely insane and detrimental. I guess it's just, we have to, like, define what we're talking about, you know what I mean? Like, what do you hope to do for people that are in the streets addicted to drugs? Like, you gotta go off the drugs first, and then if you're saying their mind's fucked up or whatever, how do you fix their brain? I don't know, I feel like we're kind of speaking in, like, ambiguities, but I guess I do that too, so I don't really know. Find a way to help people with mental health. No customers for addicted to drugs. Well, I mean, it all starts on the individual levels. So, I mean, if you have, like, a sibling, right? I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe it is kind of my fault when I look sometimes at, like, my brother's addiction. And I think to myself, like, he's clearly got some fucking mental issues, right? And he's, which, like you said, like, it led to drug addiction. I don't know. I really don't know how to, like, help him, to be honest with you. He's got to want to help himself, and I'm sure that translates to probably most of the other people as well. I genuinely don't know what, like, public services he would have available to him, if he would even desire to go there. Well, maybe if they got to him sooner. Honestly, I remember my oldest brother who also struggled with, like, behavioral shit. He said one of the best things that ever helped him growing up was whenever he had to go to a military camp for like a summer. And he was like a teenage boy, and he went to this military camp, and they just like, you know, they didn't beat the shit out of him, but they just like kicked him into shape, you know what I mean? They just like were on his ass all the fucking time for every little thing. And he says it was like one of the best things that had ever worked for him, you know, as far as like having male role models to hold him accountable and, you know, just keep him focused or whatever. So what you're saying is everyone should go into a military camp as soon as they turn 13. Sir, yes, sir, I am. We need to have a society like the Spartan USNC program. Every one of us will be fighting the flood soon. We have to be prepared. We cannot be having little things like drugs get in the way of that. Can you ask him, is it normal for a grown man to cry? Yeah, I mean, it's like you're going to feel the emotions of whatever you're going to feel, and even though sometimes I think it falls on the backs of grown men to get it done, you know what I mean? Like when you got to look yourself in the mirror and you have to make a decision, right? You have to make a decision. Am I going to wallow in my own self-pity, or am I gonna find a way? I suggest you find a fucking way, you know what I mean? Like how much more would you be proud of your spirit, of your soul, of who you are on earth for the remainder of your time if you had like a fucking warrior spirit, you know? I watched this video the other day that, you know, got me pretty emotional, and it was about a girl who at 16 she had brain cancer and she had to go in for surgery, and you know, she told herself this isn't what it should have been. And then I think at 18 it resurged and she had to have, you know, surgery again, and she was like, this isn't what it's supposed to be. And then at like in her 20s she had to have surgery, and there was like she ended up having like a palsy of like paralysis of one side of her face from the surgery, or some type of blood clot. And she was like, this just isn't fair, you know? And then at some point in her later 20s, her dad took his own life. And she said that like absolutely was like the final straw of like destroying her inside, you know? And I'm just like, all of that, and I'm like, holy fuck. But then she said something, and it was just like, she's like, one day I just walked in to the mirror and I looked at myself, and I said, every time I look at myself, I say, find a way. Find a fucking way to make it happen. Like, these are my circumstances, not everyone's cards. Life just isn't fair. It's not fair. It never will be fair. It never has been fair. It just is not fair. We're all dealt some fucked up lame-ass bullshit. And there's no one that you're going to respect more than the warrior that you look back at in the mirror. So be a warrior and find a fucking way. And if it requires crying sometimes, no big fucking deal. You cry and then you move on, because you gotta find a way. True dat, big dog. Everybody says in unison, true dat, big dog. True dat. True dat shit, big dog. Why am I not allowed to give up if I don't want to play? I don't know. It's not very inspiring to us. Honestly, I think like the people who commit suicide, they piss me off. Because it's like, I don't know, it's such a halt. It's like creates such a rippling effect out to all of those that are you're close with. Even if someone knows someone that knows someone who took their own life or just ended it all, it's just like, it leaves you with like it's almost like a big black fucking chemical bomb just like went off, you know, over in New York City, and now the winds have gusted that radiation, all that shit over here, and it's now just starting to affect us, and it just creates this ripple effect that goes on and on. It's like, you know, would much rather hear the story about the person who kept going and tried their best and got better. It literally shouldn't matter that much. Well, it does, man. It does. Like, if someone close to me took their own life, it would always just be in the back of my mind, scratching at my head like a little fucking demon, you know what I mean? Like, what I could have done to, like, help them. Why, you know, not understanding why. You have no one close to you. Well, maybe you need to go find someone close to you, and then you won't, you know, be as ruminative upon those negative thoughts, you know what I mean? Like, I always said that to myself, if I was at my lowest point in my life, you know, and there was just nothing left, and I was going to do something like as crazy as that, I would just probably like choose a direction and just walk, you know what I mean? Hitchhike and just go and just see what fucking happens, you know? Maybe I'll make some friends along the way and eat at some good diners and have some, you know, spiritual experiences with God. Who fucking knows, man? I don't believe in that old died of a broken heart. Fuck, I drank that stupid tea in it. Yeah, cut the alcohol out of the life, man. You don't need it. It's stupid. Makes everyone fat, lazy, and blame everybody else for everything. I live so much crazy amount of pain to the point I can understand the why. It can be overwhelming, but I'm not allowed to quit. Yeah. You are not allowed, man. You might be the one, you know what I mean? You might be the one that helps someone else or inspires someone else and creates the positive ripple effect outward that makes the difference in the future. It does destroy your liver, yeah. It destroys everything. I mean, my buddy's brother. Dude, it fucking sucks, man. Like, it just pisses me off so fucking much. Like, so, my buddy's brother, his name was Tyler. And he was basically my friend. Well, he was my friend, but he was like my friend. But he was like him, but like more boisterous, you know what I mean? And he just like, you know, he went to like some retreat, but then he got back into alcohol, and then all of a sudden he went up to like sleep one day and then died, you know, in his sleep. And he was only like, I don't even know if he was 40 yet, right? And turned out that his like pancreas just shut down or some shit. And yeah, I don't know, it's just like such a strange concept to think about, because it's like, you know, you kind of wrap a human being's existence up into a narrative, right? You know, you wrap it up into a concept of like life, trouble, hardships, the things they do, and then hopefully like some degree of redemption story or just a constant positive, you know, progression or a sense of peace or some degree of adventure, whatever it is. And like whenever it just like kind of comes to an end like that, it's always just weird to me, because it's like, it's almost like you have no choice but to just like move on and just pretend, everybody has to just pretend like everything's fine, everything's normal, he's not there anymore. But it's not fucking normal, you know what I mean? It's not good, it's not normal, it's fucking weird. And then his story is just over. Like his there's no redemption, he's not gonna have a wife, he's not gonna have any kids, he's not gonna have, I don't know, anything like cool legacy to leave behind of shit that he did or stuff he built or whatever. It just fucking ends, and it's just like, it's lame. Hey, see you, Jesse. Take care. I don't believe in that old died of a broken heart thing, but I do believe that Monsieur Bisaka simply couldn't handle the stress of thinking his son had been murdered and disappeared. As knowing the way the gangs operated, his son would have been put through hell on earth before his killers finished the job. He ended up having a heart attack aged 50-something and dying long before his time was truly up, and this left poor Madame Bisaka all alone. It was just her in the apartment on the top floor of the building, with no one to keep her company after the sun went down, or when the rain drove everyone indoors. Whenever anyone saw her, they could see that the life was drained out of her, and that she was a woman simply waiting to die. And so, people decided to do something about it. Congolese people celebrate Christmas in a very traditional way. There's no Santa Claus, we don't really go for the whole winter wonderland thing, and it's not uncommon to give someone a home-cooked meal as a gift. We do like giving clothes, so all the dads get socks and underwear just like everyone else, and we also like singing Christmas songs too, just not the traditional carols that you might hear elsewhere. So as a Christmas gift to Madame Bisaka, many of her friends and neighbors decided to visit her apartment on Christmas Eve to bring her gifts and to sing for her. It took weeks of planning and secrecy, but then finally, on Christmas Eve, around 30 to 40 of Madame Bisaka's friends and neighbors lined up the walkway outside of her front door and broke into a song as they put down beautifully wrapped gifts outside her home. There were a lot of food parcels and a lot of clothing, but some people brought gift wrap boxes wrapped in bows too. It wasn't just the singers who brought along gifts either. People from all over the apartment block showed up to make that Christmas a very special one for her. Mom said people didn't even recognize. Mama said his life legacy was a lesson for everyone else. I guess that's true too, Boop, honestly. I mean, you learn a lot from other people's mistakes, and you're like, I don't know, you're just like, fuck, I guess that's not what I want to become. I'll stay away from that thing. It's just crazy. Crazy we had to learn that way, through the suffering of others. Alcohol can be predicted through genetic tests. Certain people have genetic markers that makes them more likely to become addicts. I wonder what it is, specifically in the genetics, that makes them just so inclined. Or like what even like, do we even have like direct definitions of like addiction pathways? If people talk about dopamine, but I genuinely would not be surprised if there's like something substantially more complex and strange about the processes of, you know, reliance upon substances. Hey Justin, you've been around for since 15K, dude. That's crazy. That's a long ass time. I don't even know how long that is. How's Pradeep doing? He's good. He's just chilling. Is he here? Oh, yeah, he's laying on the floor. That's funny. Whenever the fire's on, but there's no fan going, he like lays on the floor for some reason. I don't even know why. But then when the fan's going, he like lays on the sofa. The sofa king. Neurodivergent people get addicted to something. The NDs. The neurodivergers. This is the best channel. You never know where it will go, and everyone is here. It's always amazing. Love you all. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you so much. I got bipolar and BPD and addiction. Sadly got me, but I got out finally. 1 year, 6 months sober. Hell yeah, congratulations. Just got to replace it with other positive directions, exercise, spirituality, writing. I don't know if you write, but maybe you could just like journal and stuff, just to get your thoughts down on paper. Hey, thanks, Neiman. Good to see you, dude. You were addicted to nasal spray? I didn't even know it was addictive. That's crazy. A friend took a DNA test. He was told that he gets excessive euphoria feelings that others don't, who don't have those genes. It stacks the paperwork of DNA results. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, the euphoria sensation. Me, on the other hand, I've never blacked out before as far as drinking goes. Like, I really don't make it very far into drinking before my body throws up, so... That's one fortunate thing for me, is that every time I drink, I almost, like, guarantee throw up. Whereas I've seen with, like, certain, like Native American tribes and stuff, some of them can have, like you said, that, like, excessive euphoric jump in sensation, which I can imagine if it doesn't operate as, like, a depressant for some people, then there would be, like, a prone to addiction, which is interesting. Notion Visual Effects, welcome to the Buttersock Call. You now have access to bonus content. Thank you, friend. Check out the bonus content playlist. Damn, Joe actually said my username. Oh my god, dog is crazy. You made my night with fuck dog. No worries, dude. Good to see you. We do streams every Sunday and Wednesday night. We have a super fun time. As you can see from the poll. We got 100% of yeses. You didn't vote, Sam? What the frick? What the flick? What the frick-a-lick? Mom said people didn't even recognize... Okay. Mom said people she didn't even recognize were lined up with gifts. As Madame Bisaka came out of her apartment, she burst into tears at what she saw. They were happy tears, not sad ones, and people ended up partying with her until the midnight hours. It was a very happy occasion, and the residents of Mom's apartment block were understandably very pleased with themselves. But it wasn't to last. As after drinking and dancing with Madame Bisaka until after midnight, the apartment block's residents retired to their beds for the night, and they did so in the knowledge that they'd shone a little light into the life of their neediest neighbors. But that light only lasted until dawn. The sheer volume of gifts Madame Bisaka had been given meant that she couldn't possibly open them all in one night. And it's also considered bad manners to open someone's gift right there in front of them, so for the most part, Madame didn't unwrap the vast majority of her gifts until early the next morning. But when she did, everyone knew about it because the entire apartment block was awoken just after first light by Madame Bisakas. Madame Bisakas. I blacked out at 15 a couple times. Strong drinking time. Yeah, crazy. I was fortunate to miss my, teen years of drinking. I, never touched drinking. And then I only really did it, in later college. Mainly because of, religious reasons and feeling guilty and stuff. But thankfully it never really, took hold or anything. Love your cast. What made you post? I don't know. I just wanted to do something creative and make money. Love the content, man. My sister put me on, and I've honestly been a bigger fan than her at this point. Thank you, Notion. Appreciate you, dude. Tell her I said thank you for the recommendation. Hey, see you, tea time. Have a great one. But when she did, everyone knew about it because the entire apartment block was awoken just after first light by Osama bin Laden. Your parents bought you alcohol at 14? Under the... to take to a party, or to party at your place, or... Why? For what purpose? For what purpose would they do? Just to be cool parents or whatever? Because I could kind of see if you knew your kids were partying and you had them. Well, that might actually be a terrible idea too. I don't know. So I didn't drink spiked booze instead. I guess. Well, that's true. I guess if they knew you were Yeah, they're trying to protect you in some indirect way. That makes some sense. Your dad was actually a cop. Oh, okay, yeah. But you hate alcohol and never got into it. Well, that's good, yeah. I feel like parents like kind of giving some degree of like leeway to a kid's social life in that regard, where they get to experiment with those stuff in some way, like almost keeps them from going like nuts later on. I've been watching your content for like 10 years. I love your content, especially the paranormal based videos. Hey, thank you. Yeah, we'll be doing some ghost stories, I think either this week or next week, so stay tuned. And thank you for 10 years. That's crazy. Having it available took a lot of the excitement out of it, honestly. Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's kind of what they say, like, yeah, in like Europe, whenever you can drink at like 16 or whatever in Germany or something, and then for whatever reason, like kids who turn 21 in college, they just go bananas because they never touched the stuff before or whatever, you know. Good morning, just woken up from a night of nightmares. Damn. Were they fun or not so fun? But when she did, everyone knew about it because the entire apartment block was awoken just after first light by Madame Basaka's screams. Mom said that they were so ear-splitting when they woke her up that she went tumbling out of bed thinking that there was a fire. And then the next thing she knew, her mom was rushing up the top floor with several other residents to see what was happening. No one knew it was Madame Basaka just yet. All they knew was that someone was screaming. But once they reached the top floor and But once she reached the top floor in the Madame's apartment, they realized what was happening. She was kneeling on the walkway just outside her apartment, and she was so upset by something that it was like she'd lost her mind. Mom said as soon as she saw her neighbors coming to help, she leapt to her feet and began yelling at them to keep away. She said, "Baboni, Baboni." Oh God. Oh no. I didn't drink too much straight vodka at 13 to 14. It put me off, or I drank too much straight vodka at 13 to 14. Put me off completely, especially off strong alcohol. The buzz is nasty as well. Too out of it. I don't know why people enjoy the feeling. Too disorienting. Yeah. Fuck. I see this one guy. He pops up on Instagram a lot. And he just lives like this most depressing life to me, where he just sits there and kind of like does the very like pessimistic, like angry narration of like his day. But his day usually involves doing some sort of exercise, like calisthenic style exercises, because he has like gymnastics equipment in his apartment. But then it's just like him ruminating on his ex or something, and then ripping multiple shots, or like drinking a bunch of beer. And maybe he's maybe it's all just an act, but it's been ongoing for like so long that I don't know. I just can't imagine. I don't know. But I was just thinking, like, at some point along the way, he became like an alcoholic as like a young 20-something. And even though he like bikes and, you know, is just generally skinny and does a bunch of like upper body stuff with the calisthenics, it just looks really depressing. She yelled, "Baboni, Baboni" at them, which means murderers in the Congolese Lingala language, and Mom said that she was so hysterical that they couldn't calm her down. In fact, Madame Basaka was so hysterical that it took a good minute before Mom noticed that she was holding something in her hand. It was a skull, a human skull, but Madame Basaka cradled it like it was the most precious thing in the world, and in hindsight, I guess it was. The cops were called, as folks were so scared for the woman's state of mind that she feared that she might throw herself from her own balcony. The cops were called, as folks were so scared for the woman's state of mind that they feared that she might throw herself from her own balcony. They managed to calm her down a little, maybe even by threat of arrest, but when she'd mellowed a little, she told the cops why she'd gone so crazy that morning, and as you probably guessed already, it all involved that human skull that she held in her hand when my mom went to help her. Madame Basaka said that after waking up early, she worked her way through almost every gift she'd been given until she reached one particular cube-shaped package. She unwrapped it, took off the lid, and recoiled when she saw the skull that sat inside. She was quite naturally horrified, but she didn't start screaming right away. That didn't come until she saw the small, handwritten note which lay underneath the hunk of bone and teeth, which read, in her native language or translated to English, saying, "A present from your son." Mom later found out through the usual apartment complex grapevine that it was most likely Algerian gangsters that had abducted and murdered the Basaka boy, as they sometimes kept their heads of their victims in freezer units so they could later use them to taunt their enemies. Yet she also heard it was just as possible that the Senegalese gangs, or maybe even rival Congolese gangs, had mimicked the Algerian signature horror in order to throw the investigators off their scent. Either way, whoever killed Madame Basaka's son had learned of her neighbor's attempts to console her and decided that wasn't going to happen. But that also meant that the boy's killers had somehow convinced a resident of the apartment complex to deliver the package themselves. This was fairly encouraging at first, as all the police had to do was figure out who delivered it. But no one would admit it. They then tried dusting the box the skull came in for fingerprints, but found none at all, not even those belonging to someone from the apartment complex. Mom says that was the day. What's up, Derek? You're on a daily walk? Hell yeah, dude. Let's go. Been so focused on your stuff, barely caught up. It's so unfortunate. Yeah. Unlucky. Things get switched around from time to time. Addiction runs in your family. Drinking alcohol or taking pills would be like eating M&Ms for me, so I choose not to partake. The cycle ends with me, but it's tough as most medicine doesn't work for me. Yeah. Probably best to just stay as holistic as possible, maybe. Mom says that was the day she decided that she was going to leave. And although she wasn't in position... Human trafficking is also a huge problem. What are you talking about? Mom says that was the day she decided she was going to leave. And although she wasn't in a position to for another few years, she moved to Canada at the first available opportunity. She does miss Marseille. She does miss Marseille, especially the food, but she says it was worth giving it up to live in a safe split. She does miss Marseille, especially the food, but she says it was worth it giving it up to live in a safe place, even if that place is a long, long way from home. Alright, and we are going. What happened to Hawk? I think Hawk was in the hospital for a little bit. I think he's just recovering now, though. We're gonna read the outro if you guys want to think of something funny to say. In Europe, human trafficking is also a major issue. Sorry if I wasn't clear. Oh, that's all good. I wasn't sure if it was you were referring to what we were discussing, or if it was related to the story. Hey, Jensen. Too much hawk to, what's up, buddy? The real Falkirk Lassie. What's up? We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the cross. Who made that fucking song? Holy crap. In Europe, human trafficking is also... Right. Oh, it's an AI song? That's crazy, actually. Hey, Oblivion Chat, I get too. Let's do a Lord of the Rings quote outro. Yeah, what should we do? Can you do the one with the, like the orcs or whatever, what they were talking about? I forget their thing. Include today's episode of me pretending I know what I'm doing. Tune in next time for more questionable wisdom. Goodbye. Hell yeah, dude. The Eagles are coming. Mas precious. Oh yeah, can you type that quote in again? The one with the orkies. The Orc Donalds. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell. Oh my god, dude. My brain's getting worse. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and there are super fun live streams on Sundays and Wednesday nights. If you got a story, be sure to submit them over at my email, letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com, and you might even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks for members of the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all of these stories in big compilations located anywhere you listen to podcasts. I also have a true crime channel called Saturn Soul, all links in the description below. Thanks so much, friends. And remember... Two in the goo, one in the pill. The goo. I had to cut a goo hole just to get one in there. Guess what, Mom? I just made myself a new goo hole. I know you don't approve. I remember, Mexican tacos are the solution for everything. Yeah, for constipation. Do we have the I don't know. Let's see. Quote from Lord of the Rings orcs. Oh wait, no. More filth. They come with fire. They come with axes. Gnawing, biting, breaking, hacking, burning. Destroyers and usurpers. Curse them. Well, that's Treebeard talking. They come with fire. They come with axes. Alright. Anybody remember... I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. It was a quote from an orc about, like, we haven't ate anything for 40 days. Oh, here it is. No, it's not. God damn it, whatever. Let me ask Chat BBC. Scooby-Doo ass intro. Wait, no. Oh, there it is. Yeah, sorry. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, We ain't had nothing but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days. There we go. Did that sound like an orc? Appreciate you guys. Alright. Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. When you finally get a boyfriend after 3 years, looks like meat's back on the menu. Alright. Love you guys, appreciate you. I'm going to get this up and edited over on Patreon. It's only $1 a month over there for early access to all the audio before everyone else. Do I believe in the multiverse? It doesn't matter what I believe, honestly, about it. All this shit's so annoying anymore. I just, for God's sakes, would one day want the CIA to do something nice for us for once. Just, can you just treat us like the princes and princesses we are? Anyways, yeah, we'll get that up on Patreon, and then, yeah, there's new merch. If you want to check out the Christmas merch, it is linked. It's pinned at the top there on the chat. Check that out. Get you something for Christmas, or a family member, or a fan, or whatever the fuck. And then, yeah, we'll get this video up and over on Patreon. Oh, wait. I forgot what fucking day it was. I thought it was Sunday for a second. I'm an idiot. Whatever. We'll get it up on YouTube, is what I meant to say. 9 p.m. EST. It does really help when you guys watch the video right when it comes out. Helps give the channel a little boost. Go subscribe to my true crime channel, Saturn Soul, as well. Alright, friends. Follow me on Instagram at letsread.official. Be kept up to date when I go live on stream. Otherwise, I'll see you guys this Sunday. Love you. Appreciate you. And chicken grease. Goodbye.